If we can get everybody loaded in here. All right. Waiting on Zoom here.
Are you going to record this on are you record this in the cloud this time? Or are you going to do this local recording thing that everyone gets fired up about?
I don't know. We'll see. Let's see here. We have Bill and Felice, Juan, Sam, Chris, another Sam, Susan, Anna, missed one, Heather, all coming in, guys. Zoom seems like it's slightly delayed. We have Joyce and Renee, Josh. Let's see, Sal. Hey guys, just want to
Love this.
get this thing kicked off here in just a moment. But before we do, Sean, I know you like to say hey and do a quick audio check.
Yeah, let's just say, hey, we have Beavis, we have Butthead, we have Bill, and we have Ted. Oh, wait a minute. That's a different call. All right. So here's the poll. Answer in the chat box. Does the word vegetables have 3 or 4 syllables? And we'll see if you're paying attention.
And then while we're doing that, and then
Some
this
might
will get
say
us our audio
vegetable.
check.
I got nothing in the chat box. No one cares about vegetables. Vegetables. Mark, how do you say vegetables?
Vegetables? I'm like, I
Yes.
it was 3.
3 syllables, yes. So someone that's strange and phonetically correct may say vegetables.
Joyce says 4.
Oh, well, that's because she's smart. Joyce, move to the head of the class.
We have Rick and Chris and Dan, guys. Let's go ahead and officially get this call kicked off, even though Zoom is slightly delayed. Guys, let us know if you can see my screen in the chat box, and we'll jump right into it.
I
So
see
it
your
should
screen.
say monthly masterclass.
too.
Okay. So this is another episode of the Post-Purchase Pro monthly masterclass. Thank you, Susan. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. Let's see. As you know, if you've hung out with us before, that every month we bring you some of the best entrepreneurs and experts in the industry to talk about what's working right now, the best strategies for growth on and off of Amazon. The format, as usual, is we're going to have 2 to 5 guest speakers. Today is 4. Each speaker is going to speak for around 30 minutes. The topics will be around Amazon or e-commerce, all around making you more money. Sometimes, though, we may bring you something a little strange. We call it outside of your box thinking. And the reason why is because we've all got this game for a particular reason, because the opportunity was so good that it drew us to it. We were probably doing something before this, right? But someday in the future, there's going to be an opportunity so big that it might pull you away from what you're doing now. So we want to keep you aware of everything that we are seeing out there. All right, so this is important. I like to reiterate this. We are never, ever paid for bringing on any of our guest speakers. We don't accept affiliate commissions. They can't pay to be here. The only reason why we would ever let a speaker come on and speak to you is if we think they can add value to you in some way. You can ask any of the speakers we've ever had, any of the live speakers. You can shoot them a message privately and ask them if they paid to be here. The answer is always going to be no. Almost every single day, but at least a few times a week, dropping hacks or industry news about Amazon, e-commerce, growing profits in our private WhatsApp group. So if you want to jump into that, you can shoot that QR code, or you can go to joinprivategroup.com, jump in there. We'll notify you of the master classes. We'll drop hacks as we come across them. If we go to an event, we find a cool strategy, we'll share that there too. It's a really cool way to interact and stay in tune with what's going on. And then if you haven't heard, this is a big announcement that we announced last month, but Post-Purchase Pro right now is officially at capacity. That means we're not taking any new clients because there are so many clients that need our help. We're full. We're trying to do a great job for the people that we have and with the people that we're taking care of. So we can't take on any new outsiders right now, but there is good news. We're going to share our entire email and text system that we use internally for our businesses and for our clients on October 25th. We're going to share how we use email, text, WhatsApp groups to massively boost sales on Amazon, increase our profit margins, drive high quality external traffic, increase the value of our brands and businesses, launch products successfully every single time, generate tons of TOS compliant reviews, increase repeat orders, cross sales, relaunch struggling products, get our products ranked in Amazon, and lower our overall PPC cost. And all of these strategies that we've been using to grow our brands for a long, long time, we've never shared the full picture of what this looks like, and we're going to do it on October 25th. So the call is getting full because it's on Zoom. Zoom limits us. If you want to register to hang out with us on October 25th as we unveil everything that we've been working on for the last decade, then go to postpurchasepro.com/revealed, or you can scan that QR code. Dylan, if you don't mind, paste that in the chat box there, and we will make sure everybody gets a chance.
Yep, I'll get that done.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Now we'll just jump right into content. We have 4 great speakers today. The first one is our brother from another mother, Mr. Mark. Both
I
Mark,
love it.
brother.
I
How you doing?
always love hanging out with you because you see business from a different angle than a lot of the entrepreneurs that we deal with. You see it from a numbers angle, you see it from a profitability angle, and you always have. And every time we have a conversation, it's value packed. So I'm really excited to put you in front of the audience today and let you share what you've been working on and how sellers can grow using some of the things you figured out over the years. So welcome, Mark.
All right,
Welcome,
thank
Mark.
you. Thank you. So just go ahead and share my screen here.
Yep, let me go ahead and enable that for you, and we'll go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Go ahead, my friend.
All right.
We've
All right.
got you.
You got me? All right. So today, what we discuss is what I kind of call the profitability quadrant. And you can see here, the first one is price. And you'll see why in a second, where our name kind of price is our kind of ultimate lever in profitability. So today we're going to go through 30 minutes. We're going to kind of revolutionize your Amazon selling experience. And today I'm going to share my expertise and insight into how I maximize profitability in my own Amazon account. And so I'm going to pass this information over to you. So together, we're going to explore the 4 primary profit levers that are drastically going to transform your way of how you approach profitability. So all the while, gaining a bit of a deeper understanding into this quadrant, and then how I use kind of an adaptive profit sprint to kind of maximize and drive that profitable growth. So let's get into it. So, and then at the end of the session, I'm going to show you a way that you can accelerate, that will go beyond the basics and kind of show you how to maximize the profits that you have in and day out. So a little bit about me. So my story kind of began about 10 years ago. I bought, a course on how to sell on Amazon. I'm actually originally a chiropractor. So I was actually in the process of actually moving from Denver to Florida, and I was actually moving to Tampa, funny enough. And along the way, Amazon took off. I didn't open up another practice, but selling, continue to sell. And then in about 2016, I decided, I'm going to sell this business and I'm going to start a new one. And so I sold it, but I would be honest, nothing really prepared me for the due diligence that was about to come at me. So through that process, I thought to myself, if I'm going to do this again, I need to figure out a solution how I can create, more transparency around my cost of goods sold, more transparency around my cost per units. So I built a tool that kind of helped me create the transparent cost per unit. So when it was all said and done, I actually sent my accountant my new cost per units, and this is what he said to me. He said, "What did you do?" And I said, "Explain what I did." And he was like, "Okay, that makes sense." And the net result of actually having the transparent financials was an increase in my profitability. Now, the software allowed me to have a significant bump in profitability when I actually went to value that business. And this was the result. So I got a net change of about 4.25%, which was a difference of $78,000 just by doing and tracking things a little bit differently than I was before. And I'll show you that, and I'll show you how I did that. And you would think that I would take that money and then reinvested it, but instead I bought a Jeep. So little story there. So prior to making SellerView, I was a spreadsheet addict. I had a spreadsheet formula for everything I was tracking. But human error and the complexity of managing numerous SKUs does lead to discrepancy in numbers. So the core lesson I learned from this experience is that there's always a way to improve your business, which led me to kind of coming up with this kind of profitability quadrant, and how these adaptive profit sprints that I do can have a big impact in your overall Amazon business, and how you can maximize growth. So today we're going to focus on those levers, and so that we can influence that overall profitability. So we already know price is a lever, and leveraging price is the ultimate control of profitability. So with that said, if you don't know the other three levers, then price is actually immaterial. So strategic pricing, essential for maximum returns. And when we get to quads 2, 3, and 4, you'll realize that 4 is also the ultimate lever as well. But we need to know 2 and 3 to make it an accurate, to get to that accuracy. So understanding these quadrants will allow you to kind of play with your prices, ensuring that you're getting optimal profit at the end of each day, month, or year, or whatever that period you're looking at. And then quads, pricing and quad 4 is those two are going to net the results that you want. So think of it like this. Quads 2 and 3 are your engine. Quad 4 and pricing and quad 4 is the gas. So we need something to drive that profitable growth. So let's think about number 2 is costs. And the reason why landed costs is everything from the factory floor to your warehouse floor, whether it's Amazon's floor or 3PL. We need to get the cost that is landed and ready to be filled. We need to have that accurate number to kind of drive that growth. So cost per unit play a pivotal role in driving profitability. So knowing this lean cost can not only help you improve it, areas of where you can maximize, improvements on that growth, whether it's at the factory level or at the supplier level, or is it at the shipping level. And when I say lean cost per unit, I mean a cost that is a reoccurring, something that you do not need to, it's not a one-time fee, such as a designer fee or a storage fee or a photography fee or testing fee. Those fees should be kind of excluded. So especially when you're thinking about selling, that cost per unit, the leaner that cost per unit is, the more profitability you're going to show on your P&L. So that's why it's very important to track these numbers, so that when you eventually do want to sell, that you can prove that your cost per units are accurate, because the buyer is going to be buying your inventory, and this is the details that they want to know. And the biggest mistakes we see clients make is, oh, my cost per unit is about $350. But what if that cost per unit was actually $331 and you sold 10,000 units of this? That's a $1,900 difference just off one SKU. So we need to understand what makes up our cost per unit, and then we need to find ways that we can drive down that cost per unit without sacrificing quality. So when we're looking at shipping as well, shipping plays a pivotal role in our SKU by SKU profitability. We need to include shipping in our cost per unit. So when we're calculating shipping rates, I always love this example. If I'm going to ship half a container of pianos and half a container of matches, are the cost per units the same? Is the shipping cost the same? So we need to really dial in our shipping cost and add that to our cost per unit, so that we're always kind of maximizing our growth. So once we have these numbers right in front of you, we can now look at ways that we can drive down that cost. And that could be a number of ways. So if I'm looking at my factory invoice, maybe I can create better rates with my supplier. Maybe I can get it down 5 cents or 10 cents. Maybe I can get better terms. If you have this information in front of you, you're more likely to make a better choice. The other thing was, looking at packaging. One of the key things we identified was, switching from a multicolored packaging just to a nice two-tone packaging, which actually knocked 27 cents off the unit price. Inquiring about better shipping rates, testing and switching different freight forwarders. Yeah, I'll give you an example of this one right now, which was in our own Amazon business. We have an actual warehouse in Tampa, and we ship from China to Tampa and then Tampa to FBA. But recently, I think Amazon has caught wind to that most people are having a staging warehouse, and they've bumped up the partner carried fees a little bit. So on this one particular product, from the warehouse to FBA was $1 to ship. But from China to FBA was $2 a unit. So we'll end up spending $3 by the time we got it to FBA. And we actually just tested Amazon Global Logistics just to kind of see how it went and what the flow was. And from China to FBA using Amazon Global Logistics, it was 40 cents a unit. So the only thing with Amazon Global Logistics was it was a little bit slower. So we're going to have to maybe order a little more frequently, but it was a $2.60 saving right there. But if I didn't have that information in front of me, I probably wouldn't have made that decision. So that's why tracking and having that information in front of you readily available is going to make all the difference. So the point is having a system to track these numbers so that you can achieve a profitability outcome and then scale profitably. So that extra $2.60 a unit, I can roll that right back into ordering new products, creating new products. I drop that into marketing. So the goal is to manage profitability, and we can't measure what we don't know. So that brings us to the next lever in profitability, which is fees, right? So if you're selling on Amazon, fees are unfortunately unavoidable. But what we can do and what we can control is what we're getting charged, and if we were getting charged the correct amount, and reclaiming any of the errors that might be happening to us on a regular basis. So if you've been selling on Amazon for some time, you might be aware that Amazon is incorrect a significant amount of the time. So it's up to us as sellers to police this and request the reimbursements and catch the errors when they happen, because Amazon will not let you know and they will not notify you. So Amazon might owe you tons of money through various types of reimbursements. So the key to this quadrant is finding those hidden profit opportunities that are hiding in the reimbursements. So if you can get back a couple $1,000s a month from reimbursements that you're always monitoring, again, that's just money back onto your P&L, whether you're thinking about selling, or money back into your account for profitable growth. So if Amazon does owe you money, let's go get it. So what if you could get an extra 5% back between costs and fees? Like, what would that mean to your business? What would that mean to your bottom line? What would that mean to what would you do next? So there's lots of things that you can do, with 5%. $1 million a year, that's an extra 50,000 that you're going to get back. So this is one of the arguments I hear a lot currently in the Amazon space is, do we place priority on growth or do we place priority on profit? And my argument is a business should always be growing. You should always be looking at ways to grow, but there's no reason why it should not be done profitably. So of course you can lean one way or the other, but you can't go wrong with accurate measurable metrics to make those good decisions, so that you can max out those margins as best, and have a really amazing scenario either way. So that's where the profitability quadrant comes into play. We all want to maximize profit. So that brings us to lever 4, which is advertising. So understanding the exact kind of cost of advertising per SKU is crucial to driving that profitable growth. And we call this total advertising cost of sales. So my ad spend is, if I'm spending between 12 and, so I'm $1 million a year and I spend 10,000, I'm at 1%. So we want to know what that number is so that we can have an idea about where our net profit is actually sitting. So obviously data-driven results are going to, at the end of the day, help optimize that ad spend. So we're going to ultimately align with our net profit goals, which is, what is each product making per SKU and how can I make that better? If I have it in front of me and I can see each area where I'm spending money on that SKU, then I can make the choice to go, okay, what do I need to do here? Do I need to play with price? Do I need to play with advertising? If I know my costs and my fees are, where they should be. So this is where, the magic of the profitability quadrant comes in, is pricing and advertising are going to either maximize or create a negative outcome in your account. And so to measure it, the ultimate goal is the total product profit. What is that SKU making at the end of the day? So in order to know that, we need to know everything that's happened in between. So let's bring this home. So yeah, we got price minus costs, minus fees, minus advertising. That's going to give us our net product profit. And then we're going to multiply that by orders, and then we're going to get our total product profit. So if our costs and our fees are tied together, and this is what we collectively call our cost of goods sold, and these are typically fixed at the order level, meaning they don't fluctuate according to price, except the referral fee, which is a percentage of the price. And then with regards to fees, one of the areas that we're solving is having the transparent variable fees included as well. So when we're looking and we step back from the fees, it's not just the transactional fees that we need to look at. We need to understand the variable fees that are associated with selling that product. So storage, long-term storage, partner carried fees, these are the bigger areas of the categories that tend to eat up the profit. And the reason why is typically those are represented as a balloon payment on Amazon. It isn't really associated with the SKU. And that's one of the things that we get into, is we assign any cost to any SKU, so that when you do see that that P&L or the SKU by SKU profitability, exactly what that product is actually making at the end of the day. All right, so if we're looking at price, we're looking at along this line here. So we got price and we got costs and fees. Now these are fixed, and we got ads. And the reason why I say price and ads are your levers is if you're driving up price and these are fixed, and you're driving up ads and your orders go up, then obviously your total product profit is going to go up as well. Now, again, if your price could go down, these are fixed, ads go up, your orders go down, then your total product profit is going to go down as well. So these are the things that we're looking at, and how to maximize profit at the end of the day is manipulating price, checking price, playing with ads to see which orders go up, which orders go down. But we can't effectively do this if our fixed costs, our cost of goods sold, aren't as accurate and as and we're reclaiming as much as possible. Which means so it's vital that we know exactly what fees are we getting charged and exactly how much costs are involved with selling that product. So we want to know exactly what those fixed cost of goods sold are on that SKU level every single time something changes. So now that we can do that, now we can scale profitably by price and ads, and these are going to play the crucial role in driving up orders. But you can't scale profitably if your margins are slim to begin with, which is why those quads 2 and 3 are so important and play a vital role in getting that net outcome that you're looking for. So this is how it works. right? So if I'm, selling my business, if I'm working towards, increasing my margins, and you're able to get an extra 4% back in this section here, that 4% lands back up in your total product profit, which you then can kind of spend back into your ads, which then drives up orders, which increase this area here. So if we're managing and we're always, focused on margins and getting those margins back into your business, back into your P&L, so that you can reinvest it into certain things, that's what's going to further drive up orders. Whether you're testing price, you're doing different ad strategies, we want to drive up that total product profit at the end of the day. So, reinvesting in ad strategies, pricing is going to affect that order velocity, and then order volume is going to affect that total product profit. So total product profit, again, those growth drivers that you can add to your business is reinvesting into new products, sourcing new products, hiring key team members. But you can't do that again with slim margins to begin with. So that's why every kind of aspect of the of the order metrics needs to be fully dialed in. So fixed costs lead to ads and pricing being your dynamic growth markers. So now we have that information. Now we can start testing price. We can start testing ads to see where and how that outcome performs. So when we talk about like the adaptive profit sprint, each week, you look at your numbers and you can make a choice. Did the price increase, and that increase in ads, did that increase orders? Did the net profit increase? Did the total profit increase? If I decrease the price and increase the ads, what happened? So looking at these variables and testing, XYZ for an outcome is how you grow your account profitably on Amazon. Amazon, I would say a couple of years ago was more set it and forget it, but now, we need to do continual testing and performance optimization to get the profit goals that we're looking for. So adding this framework to your weekly checklist is going to greatly improve your profitability, and it's going to allow you to grow and scale faster and profitably. So the magic lies in finding the perfect balance. I'd say the sweet spot in dynamic pricing tools that would generate sales volume, and adding orders, and ultimately driving up that total net profit on each product that you sell. But again, accurate cost per unit, recovered fees would, if we don't have that data and we aren't dialed in on that, then pricing and ads are immaterial. So at Sellerview, that's our domain. We're relentlessly focused on precision within that cost of goods sold line item. We want to make sure your landed costs are 100% accurate so that you can make decisions. We want to make sure all fees are accurate. You're getting charged the right amount with pick and pack fees, and that you're getting claimed back on any missing inventory, so that that money is readily available for reinvestment. So our mission is to restore the profit margins and equip you with accurate cost per units, help you retain back any incorrect fees, and give you the insights and grant you that clear view of profitability. So our objective is to widen that gap between sales and marketplace expenses by providing an accurate COGS data to make those choices. So there's a couple examples of clients where we making those recoveries for them. So this is like cost of goods sold, able to recoup 2.69%, and then on reimbursements another 0.71. So total net margin recovery of 97,000. And for this person, they had a potential sale which was a 3x, 3.5x, which added an extra $341,000 to the valuation. So I bring this up because numbers matter, and the little numbers matter. And you would think that 3.4 not a big deal, but yeah, 3.4% added an extra $350,000 in extra money for this particular client. I mean, that's a down payment on a house. So it's very important that we track this along the way, and then we're meticulous with it, because every percentage point matters. Yeah, another client, 2.43% with an increase of 35,000 in profits. Here's another client, 2.83% in profits. Another client, net change of 53,000. And I bring these up to highlight the importance of tracking these numbers, because this is money that's, it should be in your pocket, but if you aren't doing the work to put it in your pocket, it's going into someone else's pocket. So as a result of doing this, you gain confidence to scale your Amazon business to new heights, while managing and optimizing ads with ease. So now at the beginning of this webinar, I told you that I was going to give you a way that goes beyond the basics and accelerates your journey to maxing out profits. And it's absolutely free. So what we decided to do is eliminate all spreadsheets for clients that are looking to gain a deeper understanding on their cost per unit data, and be a lot more effective with managing their costs. So we all need to manage costs somewhere, whether you're managing it on a napkin, which I've heard too, whether you're managing it on a spreadsheet or data entering somewhere. We all need to manage this in a way that allows for growth and allows for transparency, that we can scale faster. So what we've done is we've created a free account. So grab one of these free accounts ASAP. You can put your Excel spreadsheet cap to the side, and go ahead and start using the tool. But I want to do one step thing further for you guys at Post Pro, is for the first 25 that create a free account and are proactive and are really interested in dialing in their costs. And I mean, like let's have a look at your costs, and let's figure out where are there any holes in the P&L? Are there any issues that we can look at? We're going to do a free P&L profit audit, which is valued at $997. So with this, you're going to get actionable insights into where you're leaking profit. You get a 7-page prepared report showing you where Amazon is quote unquote stealing your profits through their errors. And then we can do a 15-minute follow-up call, and we'll review the report and kind of give you some custom recommendations. So that's for you guys. So here's what to do next. You're just going to pop over to app.sellerview.com. You can register a free account. So
hey, Mark, when you get a chance, can you drop that the full link into the chat box so they can just click? Yep.
And then this is some information that you can add in. It's not a necessity. One of the things that we've found is having a good starting point. So one of the features in the app is tracking pick and pack fees. And this is again, part of the free account. But one of my, I would say, contentious points with Amazon is the pick and pack. I know my boxes aren't growing in dimensions, so my fees shouldn't change, but my fee, your fees regularly change, according to what's happening on the scanner. So we created a free tool. It's going to track your fees every single day, and you'll notify you if your fees do change. So what I found is helpful is having a baseline of what your dimensions are, and adding those in first, and then that will start tracking what Amazon is doing to what it's doing to your products. Now, if you feel like your fees are 100% accurate, then what you can do is on the next page, you can just integrate with Amazon North America for right now, and it will just automatically kind of populate that data. And from the sync onwards, it will start tracking any changes. And then, you can also, grab an onboarding call, and we'll kind of run through the app and kind of walk you through it as well. And, answer any questions that you might have about, splitting costs and what's the best way to go about it. So that is that. And then that's inside the app. Once you get there, there's some tutorials on what to do next and how to set up the account and start adding invoices and start being a lot more accurate on your cost per unit and start being a lot more profitable.
Yeah, Mark, this is amazing. And
Good
the
stuff,
reason why
Mark.
it's so valuable is because Amazon is becoming more and more of a finesse game. Like, you have to really know your numbers to be able to squeak out a profit. And what you're talking about, you mentioned that you added 3.4% profit to a business. It's not a 3.4% gain in profit. It's $97,000 worth of profit. So it's like if the margin of the business was 10% before and you added 3% to it, that's a 30% increase in profit to the business, which is a major, major swing in cash flow and profitability. So guys, your numbers really matter. In the beginning, when Sean and I first started, that was, our very first conversation. How much profit is the business making? And we had to figure that out. And as the Amazon landscape has become more and more advanced, you have to manage this more closely. So highly recommend checking out what Mark has going on at SellerView. Obviously, it's free, so it's worth digging into. Get your numbers right. Guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into the next segment. But Mark, really appreciate you coming on and sharing what you've been
Really
working
good job, Mark. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, so let's go ahead and switch speakers here. We have 3 left. The next one up is Dylan from
Hey, everyone.
Post Pro internally. Yep, we're stoked to have Dylan on for the first time. He's actually going to be presenting live in Korea in just a few days. So we're going to be given a sneak peek of some of the concepts he's going to be talking through there. So pretty excited to go through that. So Dylan, if you want to go ahead and share your screen, we'll dig right into it.
All righty.
While you're getting that pulled up, I just want to say hey to everybody who's jumping in. We have a user, not sure who that is, Azon, Agha, Alina, Anna, Anan, Anna again, Barbara, Ben, Bill, C. Jackman, Chad again, Charles, Charlotte, Chris, Christopher, Dan, Daniel, David, DDD, Dimitri, Felice, Anike, Impressions, Jacob, Jamie, Jan, Jen, John, Josh, a few Joshes, Jovi, Joyce, Juan, Karen, Carmen, Ken. I'll call out the rest of your names here in a moment. We're in the K's here. So go ahead, Dylan. Let's dive in.
All righty. One sec.
Oscar says, Mark, really useful insights. Thanks. And he's saying hello from Mexico City. And DDD is actually Dave. So, hey, Dave. Mark, if you don't mind, shoot that link over in the chat box for everyone. And then go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, my face is in front of the title of the slides. But anyway, so I'm going to be talking about how to make more money, decrease ad spend, and separate yourself from the competition. And a few things that I want you to keep in mind when I'm going through this presentation is your product, your brand, but most importantly, your customers. So if you don't know me, I am usually behind the scenes here at Post Purchase Pro. I'm the Chief Operations Officer, and just a little bit more information on me here. I love
Just
to
an
go
overall
diving.
badass, I just have to add.
Thanks. But I love diving. I love my 2 dogs. Got that one there. And then I graduated from Purdue University with a degree in computer science, studied software engineering, and then right out of school, after a few months of me having a normal job, Sean took me over to the marketing side, and I've been a marketing consultant ever since. So the second thing that I want to get into is what most sellers are doing wrong and what we really want to point out. And if you're already working with us here at Post Purchase Pro, you already know what this is. But for those of you that don't work with us currently, this is for you. So what we see most often is that sellers will focus on creating the sale on Amazon and then go looking for another customer using sponsored ads or some other ranking hack. But you're really forgetting about the most important part in all of this, and it's your customers. So this is ideally what your business should look like. You get the sale on Amazon, and then you follow up with them by an email, an SMS message, or text if you're my age, not Sean. And you can also follow up with them postcards or all of the above. But there is an issue here that Amazon just does not give you your customer information. They have that hidden from you, but I can cover later how we're able to access that. And yeah, I'll just get into that in a minute. So first, I want to get into the 67% factor before we get into lists. So we found that just from following up, this applies to our agency and all of the businesses that we had on Amazon. We found that our revenue is between 67 and 70% higher from the simple ideas that I'm sharing with you in this presentation today. And that's true across the board from the people that we've talked to in the space that do similar things. What would a 67% increase in current revenue do for your business? Well, if you're doing $100,000 today, that could be worth an extra $67,000. But if you're already selling $1 million a year, that's $670,000. You get the idea. Now I'm going to dive into customer lists. So all businesses around the world pay for buyer traffic. They'll pay to put things on billboards, TV ads, direct mail, radio, Google ads, Facebook ads. You get the picture. But on Amazon, pretty spoiled because Amazon sends you buyers every day for better than free. You're making a profit to acquire a customer. You're just not seeing it that way yet. If you're making profitable sales on Amazon, then you are getting paid to get new customers. Do you see the difference? You have new customers every day, and if you apply these simple strategies, you can make your existing Amazon customers more valuable by selling them more products. Let me tell you a story. So this may seem a little odd, but I wanted to talk about one of my favorite restaurants of all time, and it's for 4 core reasons. So Chick-fil-A, and the reasons are their service, their product, their speed, and the fact that they follow up a ton. So if you have a local Chick-fil-A in your area, I challenge you to download the app and see how many times that they reach out to you, because I can tell you it's nearly daily for me, and I have one right up the street. So Chick-fil-A knows every single time that I go there, this is exactly what I'm going to get. And this is what I'm worth every single time I place an order. And this is when I get to go by myself. When there's anybody else with me, it's double, triple, or quadruple the cost. Seth knows.
Absolutely.
So Chick-fil-A knows that if I come in just once a month, I'm worth $129.24 per year. And they have millions and millions of customers that are just like me. And I guarantee there are people that go more than once a month. I know I do. So if it's double that number. And then for all the customers that they have, it's millions and millions times this. So this is the true value of having a customer base that not only follows you, but they love to continually buy your products on a monthly, bi-monthly, semi-annual basis. So how does this apply to Amazon? Well, unlike toaster notifications, we can't send stuff through the app unless you have an app for your product, which congrats if you do, because that's like a 100% opt-in rate. We're collecting customer data and sending emails to them on our end. And we also use SMS marketing and text messages to drive sales. The results are pretty similar between the two mediums for us. But of course, you can't do any of this without your customer list. But before we get into how to get the customer list, I just want to cover the TOS compliance aspect. Do you believe that creating a relationship with your customers and following up with them after their purchase is against terms of service? Well, to stay within terms of service, you need to create a situation where your customers are choosing to seek you out. The simplest way to start building your own customer list is to include a product insert with your product, and not like any of these that I have in front of you. So do not ask for a review directly on the product insert because these are directly in Amazon's terms of service that you cannot manipulate reviews or try to circumvent their sales channel. So giving people promotions to go to your site and buy on the product insert and incentivizing them to leave the seller feedback is also against terms of service. You just want, if you're trying to manipulate ranking by using some black hat tactic or you try to bribe your customers to leave honest, unbiased reviews, then you're 100% breaking the terms of service and you will eventually be caught. Just keep giving your customers value and focus on their experience and making that better, and you will be successful with this sort of strategy. We've worked with hundreds of brands and created thousands of different unique product inserts, and we've started to notice a pattern with what makes inserts successful or not. Eventually, we created a formula around that to create highly converting product inserts, and this is what we figured out. Every product serves a unique customer. To create a product insert that converts, you must think about your customer's perspective. You must put yourself in the mind of your customer at the time of opening your packaging and ask yourself this question. What offer would be so compelling that my customers would drop everything that they're doing and take action immediately? There are also a lot of psychological triggers that you can use to boost your opt-ins, but the core of it, you must create a mafia offer, because no matter how many psychological triggers you use on your inserts, it doesn't matter if the offer is not good. A mafia offer is an offer so good that your customers would feel stupid saying no to. A mafia offer speaks directly to your customers' core desires. It's not a bland or generic offer that might appeal to some of your customers. When we got this right, our opt-ins went from less than 1% to over 88% in some cases. Once you create a mafia offer, you no longer have just a product insert. You have what we call an attention-getting marketing device. And the last one, taking control of your customer journey. So we want you to make your customer journey like this instead of just creating transactional sales on Amazon. Our whole purpose is to get you to continue to follow up with your customers and increase that lifetime value. You should create a unique and more profitable relationship with each customer along every step of your flow, and then continue to develop and test that process for maximum results. I have a question. If you had a physical storefront, would you expect to only have one transaction with each person that walks in the door? I know I wouldn't. You'd want to nurture each customer to get them to come back again and again, because this is called a business. And I know that if I go to a local business around me, such as a restaurant, and I never go back, well, that means I just didn't like it. So let's get back to Amazon. Why should your Amazon business be any different than that? Well, here's the real difference. Most sellers are making sales to create customers. We are creating customers so we can continue to make more sales. See the difference? And I wanted to go through an example just to illustrate how powerful this can be, just with email and text marketing. So before adding post-purchase marketing to your business, let's say you're making $100,000 a year per year in sales. You have product costs of 30%, so $30,000. Amazon fees, this isn't including long-term storage fees and everything else like Mark mentioned. Let's just say 15%. ACOS, 30%. Netting $25,000 at the end of the day. Well, I've seen some Amazon businesses in a 25% profit margin sometimes is pretty good, but we can make that a lot better. So after adding post-purchase marketing, let's say we only do an additional $25,000 in sales from doing email and text follow-ups. So combined, we're doing $125,000 in sales between the two. You have the same product cost of 30%, Amazon fees of 15%, and an attribution credit. Now, you can choose to keep this, or you can use this as the incentive to get your customers to come back and buy more. And in this example, I'm choosing to keep it. An ACOS of 0%. because you're not paying for any ads to get to email and text your customers. So at the end of the day, on that additional $25,000 in sales, we were able to keep $16,250 of that, which means that we had a total profit of $41,250 on the $125,000 in sales, or a 65% increase in profit. That's truly powerful. And another thing that I wanted to point out is just looking at the lifetime value of customers. So this is how I want you to start thinking about how customers can be valued over time for you. So let's say in month one, they create the initial purchase, $30 for your widget, for example. And then every month, on average, we value the customers at $2 in value per month. And as that value continues to grow over time, you'll notice that even within the first year, we increase the value from $30 all the way to $52 on average per customer on our list. But that's only the first set of customers that are going through this. As we continue to add customers every month, we'll continue to be picking up that additional $2 in value per customer every time there's a new customer added to the list. And that is why it's so truly powerful. The strategy will significantly increase your sales in a way that just most sellers are not taking advantage of. I am 100% certain of this because I see it every single day in businesses like yours around the world. To get different results than the average seller, you have to be willing to take different actions, right? And I put the slide deck there so you can download that if you'd like. You can also go to that link. I can also paste that in the chat so it's easier.
All right. So Dylan, this is the last slide. People can go ahead and grab it from here.
Yep.
Good
Okay,
job,
guys.
Dylan.
Great
Thank
job,
you.
Dylan. So Dylan's first ever live presentation. I thought he did amazing. Guys,
Hey, it's
give him
not going
some
to be
love
his
in the chat
last.
box.
I guarantee you
Won't be the
that,
last.
Dylan.
Oh,
job,
I know.
buddy.
I know. Once you find out, I can do pretty good.
Yep, not bad looking either. Everyone says great job. Sweet.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, Seth, we actually had a lot of people join late here. Why don't you go back over that amazing opportunity that we're sharing with sellers all over the world on October 25th and show that URL since we have a couple of minutes here.
Sure, let's jump right in. So a lot of you all missed it. Oh, thanks for the chat action. That's awesome to see. So Michaela says she loves your dogs, and thanks, Dylan. Chad says great job, Dylan. Tracy, nice job. David, well done.
Thank you, everyone. I
Dave,
appreciate
good
it.
job. Charlotte, amazing job. Oscar, very clear and concise. Great job, Dylan. All right, amazing. So guys, for those of you who jumped on a little bit later, you may have missed this, but essentially Sean and I have decided to take everything we've learned about following up with our customers, building email lists, text lists, WhatsApp groups. We use it for so many different things. We use it to drive sales, to get product idea feedback. We use it to create ranking, to create relationships between products on Amazon. We use it to drive more repeat orders and cross sales and all that stuff. We're going to share at a high level what we're doing and how you can do this in your business on October 25th. So we have been doing this in our own businesses since 2014 to drive more sales, increase our profit margins, drive high quality external traffic, increase the value of our brands and businesses, launch products successfully. Imagine if you go to launch a new product, what do? Well, most people just either try to give it away or they try to drive PPC. But what if you had a list of your real customers that you could text and email and send notifications in WhatsApp, and then they would buy for full price? And it would create ranking on Amazon, and now your product's launched successfully every single time. That's the power of this. You can get more reviews, and they're compliant because they're just raving fans that want to leave you a review. You can increase your repeat orders. What would happen to your profits if every single one of your customers just came back and bought from you one more time? That's a massive swing in profits. For the average seller, you would triple your profitability because on that extra sale, you have no PPC cost. It's a massive swing. What about relaunching some of those products that you're struggling to gain traction with. That's easy when you can drive your own traffic. You're going to be able to get ranked in search for more sales, lower your overall PPC cost because your organic ranking is higher. So you don't have to spend quite as much on PPC. So your profits are higher. Everything that we've essentially learned growing our own businesses, like digital upsells. Like when we sold a hula hoop, we would sell them a fitness membership that cost a monthly fee that we had no cost in, that would just ring the cash register for us every single month. We would create funnels. We're going to share that too, about how you can upsell. Well, what happens after they buy a hula hoop? What else we could sell them? We could sell them a yoga mat. We could sell them a heart rate monitor. We're going to show you how to do all that as well. So the Zoom call is filling up though. Zoom does cap us. We're not allowed to have an unlimited number. So if you go to postpurchasepro.com/revealed, you can go ahead and sign up for that, or you can scan that QR code and do it there. I'm going to grab that link one more time and drop it in, and then we're going to move on to Michael Rads. Let him jump into some amazing content he's got prepared for you. Let's see. Dylan, just so you're aware, when you paste a link into Zoom, you have to use HTTPS or it won't be clickable.
Oh, okay. I will repaste that.
Okay, here we go. There you go. So I just pasted it in the chat box. So you guys should all be aware of that and go ahead and get registered while you can. Let's see, there are already a few thousand sellers registered. So like I said, Zoom will cap us out eventually. So you want to make sure that you get in there while you can. We're going to go ahead and transition over Mr. Michael Rad. I'm just going to call it Michael Rads because, you know, you haven't reminded me recently about how to pronounce that, the last part of your name. So, hey, Michael.
How we doing? So actually, there's a little bit of confusion on the back end. I am Michael White, and
I love it when Seth makes mistakes. Michael, good to see you again, brother. It's been a long time.
Well, I'm pinging Michael Rads over here in the WhatsApp group, and Michael White shows up. So you're just as good, Michael, aren't you?
Yeah,
oh, he's better.
Hopefully.
Hey, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, glad to be here.
All right, amazing, Michael. So go ahead. We should have screen sharing abilities turned on for you, so you can go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Awesome. Okay, let me go. Okay, so kind of as a little bit of an intro. So my name is Michael White. I've been with Smart Scout for about 2.5 years now. We are a market research platform. We also have tons of tools for helping you to maximize your profits, make your business go better. But before I really jump in, I want to more talk about like a principle. Coach Lombardi was famous for the first day of football practice. He would go over the most basic aspects of football. He would take all the players onto the field and go, this is a football field. He would pull out a football and say, this is a football, like just going over the most basic stuff possible, just so that they would have like that core language. It's kind of what I'm doing here, but for Smart Scout. Now, this isn't as basic as showing you a football field, but let me explain how we see the world. So there's layers to the data on Amazon. There's keyword data, which many of us are familiar with. And then from there, there's product data. Many of us have looked at a competitor's product using Keepa and other things. Well, as we go through and we aggregate this information, we actually get additional layers of information. So Amazon's not just made out of keywords and products. These products are often sold by a seller. So these products build into sellers, and we can look at what is the seller doing, what kind of seller are they? Are they a reseller? Are they selling private label? How much success are they having overall as a seller? How many brands do they have? And then there's the brand level, which of course is just a collection of products under the same brand umbrella. And then subcategories, right? So there's over 20,000 different subcategories on Amazon, and figuring out what subcategory you're competing in, what niche you're fighting to have space in is going to be huge for you and your overall success going forward. And then you have the larger root category, which those are the big categories that we all know, right? Sports and outdoors, home, grocery, these big categories. So we're going to kind of take a look at all of these data levels and hopefully come away with some insights that can help you in your business. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're actually start from the top and then work our way down. So subcategories. I was doing a little bit of research myself earlier. We'll actually jump into pillowcases here a little bit later because I found some really cool stuff. But so subcategories. We're actually going to start with the root categories of what is being sold on Amazon. So clothing, shoes, and jewelry, 4.5 billion in a given month. Home and kitchen, 4.1 billion in a month. So let's dig into, so there's 1,800 subcategories inside of the home and kitchen category. So we're gonna dissect this a little bit and go exploring. So earlier I was looking at bedding. So inside of this 4 billion, it partitions out to 1 billion in kitchen and dining, 800 million in furniture, 600 in home decor, and then 500 million in bedding. Let's dig into bedding a little bit. So sheets and pillowcases does 100 million a month. Bed and pillow positioners, 73 million. Mattress pads and toppers, 70 million. Blankets and throws, 55 million. We're going to go, let's dig into sheets. And then pillowcases does 15 million. Now, I was curious because I was seeing some trends around silk pillowcases. And I was just curious how much revenue was actually happening in just the pillowcase space in general. So we're looking at 15 million. There are 541 brands competing for that $15 million a month. There are 462 sellers selling those brands. And Amazon is actually not super strong here. So you're not competing with Amazon brands. And Amazon's not often the seller of the brand. You're competing with sellers in this category. So we just went through a couple layers there, and now we can even go like a layer deeper. So for example, pillowcases, we could pull out, this is called scope. What this is going to show us is we can do this on any category level. We can see what overall is the history and sales for that category. So pillowcases. There's not really a seasonality to it, which you wouldn't expect there to be. Let's bump it up to 24 months and see if we find any interesting trends. So what this is just showing us overall how the category's done in sales over time. The big thing we want to see is is it growing? Is it shrinking? Right now it's kind of in a little bit of a dip, but it looks like that's kind of normal because if this was 2 years ago, it looks like that's kind of a normal dip, and overall it is growing on Amazon. We can see how individual brands are growing and shrinking. Looks like they're all kind of rising and falling together along with the demand. I don't see any outliers that are necessarily surpassing others or underperforming others as we go along. But let's talk about like why pillowcases. And this is kind of the big thing I want to talk to you guys about today. So we've done something new here. So this is called popping topics.
Hey,
so yes,
Michael,
sir.
really quick. We got a question from Charles in the chat
Awesome.
asking how it's different than Data Dive.
Right. So how it's different than Data Dive. So basically what we're doing is we're focusing more on like the category side of things. It kind of goes back to those data levels, right? Data Dive does an incredible job when it comes to like understanding keywords and keyword observations. We do some of that, but it's also how we conglomerate that information together to give you a category pulse and a subcategory pulse, if that makes sense. Because so like I would say this in our space, right? We have Jungle Scout and Helium 10, who are fantastic product tools. They really help you dial in on your product. You have tools like Data Dive that really help you use keywords really, really well. we try and help with all of the steps of that ladder, but also like give you those layers of information so you can understand overall as an economy, as a market, where are things trending, not just at a specific keyword.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you for the question. So this is Popping Topics. What's Popping Topics? It is the search trend. I think I assume many of you have used Google Trends. If you haven't, you definitely should. It's always entertaining to see what's trending on Google. What are people searching for? And sometimes you'll find insights that'll actually help your business. As a matter of fact, I know someone who, like, before they'd even heard about AI, they were on Google Trends and they saw that there was this thing called AI that was just spiking. And they're like, well, I guess I better like learn something about this. And then of course, 2 days later, that's all anyone on Twitter was talking about. But so I was looking through this. There's some fun observations we can make here. So for example, Kelsey, I don't know if we have any football fans in the audience, but Travis Kelce is now dating Taylor Swift. And for some reason that has increased the interest in Kelsey on Amazon incredibly over the last little bit. And if I dig into this, it'll actually show me other trends that kind of run along with Kelsey. Once again, these are just Amazon search trends. So people, once again, are searching Travis Kelce. They're looking for a Kelsey documentary. I guess there's a Jason Kelsey. And then the Travis Kelce shirt. So of course, so let's get back to like what's actually actionable for us. We're seeing that this is converting into product searches. Maybe you're a Taylor Swift fan who doesn't know anything about football, but now you're a Travis Kelce fan because he's dating Taylor Swift. Well, now those searches are going really well. So that's just a random growth that we've seen recently. I wanted to chat a little bit about, so we have Halloween decorations, which of course is growing. It's that time of year. But what's interesting to me, let's bump it to a year. It's not so much that it's growing. Of course, there's going to be a Halloween bump every year. It's super seasonal, but it's actually when those searches start growing. They actually start like the upward trend way back in May, and then really mid-July is when it really becomes a thing. So if you're looking to get into like the Halloween space or the category space, more than knowing just when people start buying your products, understand when they start looking. Because I doubt that anyone's actually buying their Halloween decorations in July, but they're definitely doing some window shopping. So are you optimized by the time that they start window shopping, or are you just optimized for the time when they normally start buying, right? Because then you might have already lost the game. So whatever category you're in, look at some of these keywords and see like what is the search trend? What is the annual search trend for my category? Is there a time when I need to be there when people actually start shopping versus just when they start buying? So that's kind of an interesting takeaway there. And then we have fall decorations for home, fall fashion. NFL. Now, one thing to note, this is all Amazon search results. So you will get movies in here just because the Amazon search bar includes tons of movies as well. So that doesn't mean you should triple down on trying to make trying to make a movie-based product or anything like that. It's just because the Amazon search bar is becoming almost as used as the Google search bar when it comes for looking for things in entertainment. All right, so we have Halloween decor. Down here, we have COVID tests, which are hopping back on. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Oh, there we go. Here we are. All right. I thought I was going to make a fool of myself here. Silk pillowcases. This is what I was looking at today, and this is why we went through that category. Because we're seeing some interesting growth in silk pillowcases. And I'm looking at the annual growth, and that's crazy. So where I don't see a drop down over here, that tells me that it wasn't this way last year. So it's not a seasonal thing, just the interest and the search volume for silk pillowcases has just gone crazy. So let's actually jump back into subcategories now that we understand that a little bit better. I'm going to come back. We're already in that category. Let's look at the products. So these are all pillowcases. And sure enough, top the top seller is already a silk pillowcase. And here's another silk pillowcase. As a matter of fact, it'll take a second for it to filter this, but if we search for the title and then we want it to contain silk, that's to scrub out all the ones that don't have that. So it'll take it just a second, but we can get a rough idea of how much revenue is actually happening just in silk products. So let's see, 150, 130, so 280. Sorry, I'm doing some public math here, guys. That's close to, that's going to be close to $1 million a month in revenue on silk pillowcases. And if kind of going back to popping topics, we can kind of see that it probably was maybe a quarter of that in July, and yeah, maybe like a tenth of that before then. So it is blown up lately. So that's worth exploring. If you're looking for a new product idea, figure out why that's happened. What's the trend? What's the what are some of the variables as to why that's growing? But that is growing, and these are just some of the things you can find if you're just exploring popping topics. That's what makes it such an interesting tool. Is going into today, I wasn't bullish on silk pillowcases, right? That wasn't like a thing that I was super interested in. But just browsing through here, I'm seeing a trend, and maybe it's a trend worth hopping on. So once again, it's like Google Trends, but in the Amazon world. Do we have any questions right now?
Sorry, muted. There was one I wanted to ask. Freddie had asked, where's the data coming from? Is it the proper product opportunity manager?
Sorry to clarify, is he asking, is the data coming from the product opportunity manager?
It was two back-to-back questions. So he said, where is the data coming from? And then he asked the product opportunity manager. So I assume follow up to that.
Okay.
Oh, he said yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, so it's not coming from the product opportunity manager. We have a couple, we have multiple sources for our data. The keyword data comes from a couple different places. Really, where the popping topics like comes into it is just more so how we format that data. Like this data is out there. I'll have to double check on where we get all of the keyword data, because we have like 3 or 4 sources of it, and then it just comes down to how we compile it on the back end is kind of where the magic happens.
Gotcha. And then one other one. So how can we evaluate whether an opportunity exists for us, not just a trend that is increasing?
So that's a great question. So let's go the distance with silk pillowcases, baby. So here, I'm just going to search it at the top. Sorry, we jumped too far. We're going to go here. Okay, here's silk pillowcases. So we see that it's growing. We're wondering, can I be a part of this growth? This is where we're coming back to subcategories. We've looked at silk. So now that we've cut it down to just products that have to do with silk, we can start to do some other observations here. So there's 9,000 products that are in the pillowcase space that have the word silk in them. So let's say 9,000 SKUs with silk pillowcases. One thing we can do kind of some more in-depth analysis we can export this in Excel. You can do whatever data analysis you want. But one thing I would be doing is looking at the brands. So Bedsure is obviously, they're here quite frequently. But yeah, so there's Bedsure, Bed Elite, but there's other smaller ones. And then we can also, let's go back to, we're going to click over here to brands. So these aren't necessarily just in the silk pillowcases space. These are just in the silk pillowcase space. But we can see all the brands and what they're doing in revenue. So there's obviously Bedsure doing $1 million a month. And then these guys are doing almost $1 million, close, and then 600, 600, 500. But as I go down the list, the question really is, what for you is an opportunity, right? Like I'd be pretty happy starting the next top C and doing $19,000 a month in revenue in pillowcases, right? There's 541 brands here all competing. And so I guess my answer is scroll down the list. Like if you see the revenue number you're going after. Now, if your goal is to be the top dog, you know you have a lot of competition to get you there. But one thing that's really cool here is no one has like 50% of the market share. The winners have 6.8% of the market share. This is a very competitive market. And these guys with 0.2% of the market share, they're bringing in $40,000 a month. So that's how I look at it. That's kind of like some of the power of subcategories is we could really look and see who is competing in this space. Even sometimes I think we think too much about who's competing on our specific product and not enough about who's also competing in our category, because anyone who's competing in our category could easily pivot and compete with us on our product, right? So that's my answer there. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so that's popping topics. I guess let's see if we can find one more interesting trend just for kicks and giggles. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit because I know we already saw these. Halloween candy, that's not a surprise. You know what? I don't know anything about the beauty category, but eyelash growth serum is popping off. Is this an annual thing? No, it looks like it's just for some reason people are really dialed into eyelash growth serum. It could be that it's going viral on TikTok. I don't know. But now I want to, I'm coming back to subcategories. Well, let's hop on over. Let's dig into beauty then. Probably makeup. Okay, actually, so just a tip for you guys, if you're ever using subcategories, you can also go to the top and just do search. And actually the niche finder tool also lets us just search any niche. So let's see what we can find in the eyelash space. Not everything ends up becoming a subcategory, right? So all of our subcategories are created by Amazon. So as Amazon creates new subcategories, we will create them inside of our database. Eyelash. You know what? Let's click on, instead we're going to go this route. I'm going to click on the product. And let's see what category it identifies itself in. Lash enhancers and primers. Great. So I'm going to search that inside of subcategories. That's 10. Whoa. Okay. 10 million a month in lash enhancers and primers. Let's see what brands are at play. Let's see kind of like what's the dominance in the market. So Grande Cosmetics has 32% market share. And then everyone else is just kind of competing for the rest. Let's see over time. I'm curious. So we're not seeing a big, so Scope's not showing us a huge increase in sales yet. Scope is delayed by a couple weeks though. So it could be that they haven't caught up to the current trend of searches. I'm curious, that's something to watch going forward. I'm curious to see how that pans out into actual sales. Let's see. So these are the winners. So just really quick, when it comes to this search, we can see what products are the ones that are kind of driving this search. So WeWell is the top ranked, and then Grande Cosmetics, which we just talked about them, how they're kind of winning. So I wonder if WeWell is just leading this trend. That's very interesting. But yeah, play with popping topics. If you're looking to brainstorm ideas, it's super interesting. But also you can search for your own keywords, like search for keywords that you're competing on, or any search term that you're curious about, and see what trends are happening and who else is really competing for you with inside of those trends. The next thing I want to jump into, you guys, is share of voice. These are popping topics. Share of voice are our two newest tools. So share of voice, what it's doing is it's basically showing how well you're presenting yourself in your given keyword. So for example, for paddleboard, for the keyword paddleboard, fun water gets 46% of the paid views, but their organic views are terrible, which means that their total share of voice is actually fairly low. So this is kind of the aggregate share of voice, or how often are they getting the attention for that keyword. You can see all the people who are competing for that keyword. You can also see what that brand's monthly revenue is, which will give you an idea of like what kind of a budget do they have to spend. Like surprisingly, these guys are down here, but like they have $7.6 million in monthly revenue. So they're going to have a bigger budget, right, than Fun Water up here, but they're just not spending it the same way. And then one thing that's really interesting here, so there's these little bubbles there, and what they're showing is how is the share of voice trending. So for example, Fun Water's share of voice is down 0.6% from the previous week. So it's going up and down, and actually seeing lots of trends is actually super helpful. Here's why. So if all of these were really, really low numbers, like, so for example, we have a couple of 0.2s. If they were all 0.2, that means that there's not a lot of volatility on this keyword. There's not a lot of competition. Everyone's kind of staying in their spot. But when you're seeing these wide swings, it means that there's a lot of people competing. There's a lot of stuff moving around, which means that your odds of also being able to hop in and compete on this keyword are actually pretty decent. So here's another thing that's also key, that I want to key into: country of origin. We're always wondering, am I competing with US or Chinese sellers? Well, instantly we can look over here and see, and I think we've all complained about Chinese sellers kind of trying to spend their way to the end zone, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with Fun Water up here. It's a Chinese-based seller, and they're just trying to spend their way to victory right here. They're dumping a ton of money into paid advertising, and their organic advertising just really isn't that good, which should be encouraging for us, assuming that we believe that we can get better organic advertising. So this is just kind of high level on share of voice. Do we have any questions that have rolled in, Dylan?
Not that I'm seeing at the moment. Yeah, we haven't gotten any yet. Just
okay, great.
Hey, so we have one question here from Susan from earlier. She says, do you have any way of identifying top influencers in a category?
Ooh, that is a super interesting idea. We do not, but I'm going to make a note of that to see. Sorry.
Thanks for catching that one, Seth.
That makes sense as like a next step here. That's super interesting. I hadn't thought of that. So I really appreciate, unfortunately I can't answer the question, but I appreciate that as feedback. That's something I'd be interested in looking at, seeing what solutions we can provide there. Seth, did we miss anything else?
All good now, Michael.
Okay, awesome. So I think for like our next step, so we talked about the data levels. Let's see if we can kind of use all of them together as we like explore something new. So we're going to go back to the subcategory tree. I'm going to remove my filter so we can fully explore here. Actually, we're just going to come over to niche finder, because we haven't really touched base on this one yet. So niche finder, it's very similar to the subcategory tree, except for instead of being in tree form, it's just all of the final nodes, all of the final roots of those categories. So we can see what big opportunities are. So I can filter by revenue, by brands, by number of single seller brands, which what that means is we can't guarantee if someone's private label or not just by looking at their seller account, but we're like 90% sure that these are private labels. So cell phone basic cases, half of the brands are private label brands is basically what this is telling me. Single serve coffee capsules and pods, like that's like what 80% of them are private label. So you can kind of correlate these two numbers really quick and see which ones are mostly dominated by private label types. And then we can look by number of ASINs. So I want to find, let's find a, oh, and this is another big thing, top brand revenue share. So for example, Starbucks dominates single serve coffee capsules and pods. They have 48% of the revenue, right? So that's probably not the category that I'm looking to jump into. So we can filter by that. And let's max it out at, I don't know, it's kind of arbitrary. I'm going to say 18%. So I only want to see categories where the winner is at 18% of all sales. And then I only want, let's say I only want to be competing with, let's try 100 brands. You know what? Let's try 50 brands. That's still like a lot. Okay, so here's 1,000 categories where you're only competing with 50 brands and the winning brand is only at 16%. So crib bedding bumpers. This is as good as any to jump into. Let's see the brands. So these guys are doing 870, 785, breathable baby. Let's look at the products. Who's winning this? Let's open this one up. So this is the hero. Okay, so it's just this liner. All right. And so we're gonna come back. I want to see some of the search terms. So crib bumpers is the big search term. So what are we gonna do with this? I'm going to actually snag that keyword. It's not what I meant to do. It's to jump into it. And we're going to bring this back over to our popping topics. And I'm just curious, like, is there a trend here? Is there anything interesting? It looks like there's healthy, there's healthy growth interest wise. Crib bumpers padded so this is actually super good for us, right? So we're looking at the winner, right? It's not padded. At least I don't think this is padded. It doesn't say it's padded, right? Then we run the number in here and it actually says that the winning word is crib bumpers padded. So what product are we looking to launch right off the bat? It's a competing product that is padded. Now I didn't expect it to be that easy or to look that cool. So don't expect that to be your results. But and I'm almost out of time. So these are just some ideas. Hopefully this got your creative juices flowing. Hopefully you got excited just using these couple tools. I don't know. I had a good time. Hopefully you all had a good time as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. I have one more question from Charles, if you have the time.
Awesome. Yep.
So he's asking, essentially to sum it up, it's looking for, I'll just ask it verbatim so I don't mess up any part of his question.
Great.
I'm still not clear on how to identify an opportunity. I get you see there are others doing what others are doing in revenue, but what exists to show that there's traffic going to a specific keyword and no product satisfying the queries, or a niche where a bunch of low-grade sellers that they can come in and disrupt the market?
Okay, let me answer the second part first. So one thing that you can do, we're going to go back to the brands, and we can actually come over here. We have our average page score. So this is a scale of 1 to 10, though usually a good number is about 8. So what this is showing me is how good is their listing, how optimized is their listing. This is a great way to look through and see like how much time people put into this. So for example, DMZ, I'm not even gonna, the DMZ brand is a 5.63. They are not optimized. So look and see if you can optimize. That's my answer to the second part of the question. I don't remember the first part, but I think Seth's hopping on to kick me off anyway.
Keep going. You can finish your thought.
You want me to?
Yeah. What was the first part of the question again?
Essentially, they're looking for opportunities and keywords where people are searching for it, but there's no products that are really satisfying that specific query.
Okay. So the fact is you just have to do the footwork. Like that we have the tools for you to be able to explore and dig deeper. Like the process that I was just doing, it's rinse and repeat. Like you're going to have to do your homework and keep digging. That's the answer.
All right, perfect. And then we'll let you jump right out of here, Michael. But Yossi says, are there any deep tutorials on Smart Scout, learning the software and the practical meaning of every command and feature? Do you guys have tutorials that show all that?
We have a YouTube channel. We're always making more content. So look us up on YouTube, look up the smartest seller on Instagram, and we're always creating more content around that. Thank you.
Beautiful, Michael. Well, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. All right. So
Thanks.
Sean, let's jump into our next guest here, Mr. Raphael.
Man, do I have to. Raphael.
We have, let's see here, a couple more speakers left, guys. Pretty excited about it. Let's see. Yep.
So Raphael's on deck.
Yep. Let's jump into Raphael. Yeah, we have actually three more. Wow.
3. Holy smokes, Raphael. I'll tell you what, Raphael is going to be a hard act to follow, but let's get him introduced here. So, ladies and gentlemen, gather around. That sounds like a carny, doesn't it?
It does.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of you Amazon aficionados out there, gather around because today we're about to meet a man who not only defies the laws of gravity, but has also mastered the art of levity as well. Imagine, okay, a creative genius who migrated from the sunny shores of Venezuela to the sizzling streets of Miami, armed with a passion for Amazon and a comedic timing that can put any stand-up comic to shame. Yes, I'm talking about none other than the dynamo of content creation, the guru of e-commerce, the pint-sized powerhouse who's just as hilarious as he is talented, the one and only Raphael Velos. Okay, now you might be wondering what the heck makes Rafi so special. Well, first of all, he's not just any content creator. He's the founder of Share It Studio, where he cooks up Amazon magic that's hotter than a Miami summer. And when we say he's certified, we mean it. Raphael's got PICFU and Helium 10 certifications that make him the undisputed king of the Amazon jungle. But here's the kicker. Raphael's talents go way beyond the world of certification and e-commerce. He's an Amazon ads partner who can make those virtual cash registers ring like no one else. And speaking of kickers, did I mention that my friend Raphael's vertically challenged? That's right, folks. Raphael is a living testament to the saying that good things come in small packages. In fact, he literally one time pulled up and stood on a chair during a live interview just to be eye level with me. Now that's dedication to the cause, right? So get ready to be inspired, amused, and thoroughly entertained because Raphael is not just a content creator. He's a whole experience waiting to happen. It's time to learn from the best, laugh with the best, and let the Amazon magic of Share It Studio sweep you off your feet. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the man who proves that in the world of e-commerce, size doesn't matter. Raphael Velos. Welcome, my friend.
Mr. Sean Hart. Scott Stevens. How's it going?
Raphael, I think you just missed your entire intro. Sean gave you this amazing introduction, but I think you missed it.
So check this out.
Sorry.
One time, picture this. I found myself at Share It Studio in Miami with Raphael, right? And he somehow convinces me to enter a hot sauce eating contest. I mean, who in the right mind would willingly dabble in the fiery world of spice with a guy who stands on chairs just to reach the microphone? Well,
with tequila. With tequila. You feel the tequila, though. You feel tequila.
Hey, I'm trying to keep it PG. So I'm chomping down on tortillas dipped in hot sauce like they're candy, sweating buckets and hoping my taste buds will survive this ordeal, right? And believe it or not, against all odds, I emerged victorious. It's about 11:30 p.m. and I'm headed at like 6 a.m. on a flight to Spain the next morning. But here's the kicker. My prize wasn't just a pat on the back. Oh no, my friend. it was none other than a money gun that shoots out cash, turning Sheriff Studio into a mini Miami hurricane of dollar bills. It was like a hot sauce showdown that left me with cold hard cash and Raphael rolling in laughter. Welcome to the show, Raphael.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you can hear me all well. All right.
Perfect.
I'm overseas right now, so I'm traveling. So yeah, man, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it for you guys having me on.
Yeah, amazing, Raphael. So we should have screen shareability for you, so you can go ahead and jump right into it. Sean Anand says, Sean, you crack me up, dude. Raphael, you'll have to listen to his full intro on the replay. But go ahead, my friend. Take it away.
Well, all right, let me share my screen. And it's loading. Where is the presentation? Okay, here you go.
There it is. What part of the world are you in right now, Raphael?
South America right now.
All right.
Trying
Venezuela?
to... No, I'm in Colombia right now, actually.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
There we go. We have your slides now. You just need to put it in presenter mode. All right, take it away, man.
All right. Can you guys see it? Because this looks like it's loading from my end.
It's loading. Now we have it.
Okay, let's go right ahead, guys. I'll put you over here. All right, guys, welcome. My name is Raphael. I'm the founder of Hirsch Studio. And today we're gonna be talking about the keyword-driven strategy to how to turn data into effective sponsored brand ad videos. If you guys don't know what sponsored brand videos are, they're basically a way to lead more traffic into your listing, right? So you have a lot of ways to lead traffic. One of them is through PPC. So basically you're bidding for a keyword. And when somebody search for, I don't know, let's say pillows, right? Pillows comes up, then you'll see one of those videos, either it's in the middle or the bottom. That will be hopefully your video, and that video will drive traffic to your listing. All right. So let's keep going. So I think that the first thing before we even get started is to understand why good videos or the perceived value of your brand is so important. If you haven't heard of the Palessi experiment, I'll just play this video really quick for you.
No audio, man.
Audio? How do I share audio? We never use Zoom. I never use Zoom, honestly.
Hey, I was in there about a year and a half ago. Now we only use Zoom, so you'll figure it out. Just give us the rundown. What's this guy saying?
Yeah. So basically, Payless Shoes did a test, right? And they, as you know, Payless Shoes, basically the brand's called Pay Less, so you pay less for shoes. But they wanted to showcase that it's just it's the way how people perceive your brand that actually matters the most. So they did this experiment where they made a mock-up store called Palessi. And this Palessi store basically sold Payless shoes with a different branding, but it's the exact same shoes that you find in any Payless brand. And they were selling these shoes for $300, $400 more than the original shoes, right? So the same shoe that sold for 35 bucks, they were selling for 645. And people, what they were doing is basically they were saying, yes, these shoes are amazing. We love these shoes. And once they give them the news that they're actually Payless shoes, they go into this awe moment, this shock, right? So this is the faces they made after they understood that they were actually Payless shoes. That's the importance. Sorry, let me keep going. That's the importance of actually showing. What is wrong with this? Sorry, guys, I'm having such technical difficulties today. That's why having a perceived value and having good content is so important, because it's not just creating something, it's creating something with an idea, with the taste, all right? The same shoes that Payless sells for 35 bucks, they were able to sell it in this made-up store in LA, which they rebranded to Palessi, the exact same shoe. So with that being said, let's go in more into the sponsored brand ad videos, right? So sponsored brand ad videos have a 108% increase in CTR. This is set by Amazon itself. And then the rest is set by Marketing Hub, but basically sponsored ads can increase sales also 10% year over year. I think the most important thing here is understand the CTR, the click-through rate, right? So you want to get eyeballs on in your listing. If you don't get eyeballs, you cannot convert and you won't be able to sell. So the first thing is traffic, right? And then you can retarget and do all the amazing things that they learned at with Sean and Seth. If you don't know what the sponsor brand video is, it's when you search on Amazon and then it appears in the middle of the page. Okay, that's how it should look. So summary of the session, we're going to talk about PPC fees are skyrocketing. So how can you rise above the noise? Basically, we want to talk about keyword-driven sponsor ad videos, right? And the session goal is not to make you into a filmmaker or into a marketer. The session, the goal is to make you understand how sponsor brand videos work. So you are able to basically make the right and the sound decisions when you hire agencies, such as myself or any other agency, or you make it yourself. But at least as the CEO of your company, understand what's going to work and what's not. Because when you are bidding for a sponsored brand ad video, you're going to be spending money. And if you're not getting those tractions or the traffic, you're going to be basically burning money away. Go into a bit more into sponsored brand videos. Obviously, really quick about myself. I think the most important thing here is that we think first as marketers and then as creatives. It is extremely important to understand the buyer persona first. It's important to understand their pain points, etc. We're gonna dive more into that. So I think this is the most important thing out of this whole slide. This is me. This is a couple of years ago. This is where I got my first big hit. I directed 2 music videos for this. It was a Christian album song in Spanish. It was called "I Live for You," and it got over 200K. That was 9 years ago, so I think it's come a long way. It's me in film school, and I worked in a lot of places, such as Nickelodeon, Telemundo. I started Share Studio at 2017, and so far we've done amazing things. All right, so part 1 for a keyword. For a sponsored brand ads video, the most important thing is the keyword, guys, right? Because you are bidding for a keyword. But for the keyword, you also need to know the data, okay? Without the data, there's no going anywhere. Who's your buyer persona? Why they're buying it? What's their pain point? What's going to trigger? What emotions are going to trigger? It's not the same thing to sell to Seth than to sell to me, right? Or to sell to Sean than to sell to me. All right, so let's keep going. If you guys have any questions, please do ask. I'll be more than happy to answer them along the way. I actually like that interaction, that feedback, so don't be shy. The most important thing is the keywords, okay? First, we need to understand the keyword search intent, right? For example, let's use this wallet, right? So they're looking for wallet for men, wallet for women, small wallet for women, slim wallet for men, slim, RFID wallet, RFID wallet for men. So the importance about these keywords is what's triggering. So they are asking questions about the gender, right? They're interested in the gender, they're interested in the size and the features. Those are key things that we really, really need to have into importance, right? To take into account. How can you find your keywords? It's very simple. Go into brand analytics and do your search query performance, as well as you got your brand analytics, do the top search terms. And if not, you can use Helium 10, you can use Data Dive. There's so many ways to find. And if you don't have any of those programs and you don't have your listing up yet, then use ChatGPT, use Bard. There's so many places out there that you can look for keywords, right? Either way, if you're launching a product, you should already know your keywords. Any questions, please let me know. Okay, so getting to know the buyer persona, the right audience. So this is a minimalistic wallet for men. All right, so let's do a quick run right now. I don't know how many people are in the call. There's 70 participants. Can you put in the chat right now, really quick, who do you think is the buyer persona for this wallet? Just put in the chat if you can. Can they type in the chat? Can you put if it's a man or a woman? Man, Anna says man, men. Karen says men, young hip men. Barbara is going even deaf. I love it. Men, men, men. Seku saying men. Let's give it 10 more seconds. All right, guys. Seth, what do you think? Sean, what do you think? It's a men, women, child? Men, men. Okay. All right, let's just say that everybody said men. All right, let me put this over here. So based on that, actually, when Amazon used to give us the demographics. When it used to give us the demographics, we found out that actually 48.7% of the buyers were female. Okay. Why is this so important? Because when this client got to us, he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, we're second actually. At that time, number one was their competitor, and they're a very well-known brand, and they were second to that brand, but they were losing market share. Okay, so out of all those other brands that sold the exact same wallet, it's called Rich Wallet, the main brand, Rich Wallet, and then it was Dom, which is Razum, and he was losing market share a lot faster. Because one, he was like the smaller brand compared to the main brand, and at the same time, there was a bunch of sellers coming in and just like diving in. Because remember, when you're searching for a product to sell, there's also 100 other people around the world that are looking at the exact same data, right? And that's the way they analyze it. So they're looking at the exact same data. They're like, oh, minimalistic wallet for men, it's a very hip trend. Let me start selling that. So there's a bunch of people coming in, right? So after we're looking at it, he's like, my sales are declining. I'm still number one, but my sales are declining. What should I do? We looked at the data and we found out that 48.6%, 0.7% of the women were married, of the people that were buying that were married. And on top of that, out of the whole lot, of the 100%, 85% were married and 15% were single. What does that mean? That means that most likely those 50%, 15% are mostly men, and then the rest are female, right? So now that we understand the buyer persona even more, now we understand more on how to attack the problem, how to connect with them. That's what you want, right? To connect with them, understand really who your buyer persona is. And just because it's a minimalistic wallet for men, maybe the other people are buying for it. Maybe if it's something, if it's a child toy, who buys them primarily? Is it the mom, the dad, the granny, the grandparents? There's so many things that you can look into it. The second thing, we're gonna look into the data more in depth in a bit. The second thing is understanding the pain points. Okay, you want to trigger their reaction. You want to get a reaction out of them, and obviously the perceived value. So we do the review analysis. We do just like a word count, and basically these are the ones that came up the most. Obviously, wallet, cards, to hold cards, and rich is the competition, right? So these are a lot of things that people clip. One loves, he loves, use, cash, keep, quality, gift, love again, loves, right? What does that mean? There's a lot of people that are saying, hey, my husband or partner or whatever loves this, or it doesn't have to be a husband or partner, friend, maybe, whatever, but he loves it, okay? Another thing that we got, right, from the reviews, that's why it's so important to understand, to see all the data and analyze it. The money clip, he loves it. The rich wallet, so a lot of competitors are looking for it, and he loves it. Most likely people will compare it to the rich wallet, right? Really quick, if you guys want to grab a benchmark template of what we do and the questions that we ask, scan this away. I believe my team put this at the end again, but just in case, scan this. If not, we'll send it to my friends Sean and Seth, and they'll be able to send it to you guys. But scan this, and I'll come back to this if anybody needs it.
Dylan, why don't you scan that and then post the URL inside the chat for everyone?
Yeah, doing that now.
Give him a second; he'll get it in there, Raphael,
Sounds
and then
good,
it'll
man.
be in the replay as well.
Sounds good.
You good to go, Dylan?
How are you guys?
Yep, I got it.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's hit it.
All right, so part 2, the keyword-driven strategy. We call it the studio, the keyword-driven strategies, because the keyword's what's going to drive it, right? The keyword is the most important thing. Understand the keyword and then the buyer persona and demographic, etc. That's where the money is. I like to compare the sponsored brand ad video to a Super Bowl commercial. So Super Bowl commercials are there to entertain you and to make you remind you about the product and to drive traffic to that product. And then the listing video is what we like to call the infomercial. Why? Because the main purpose of this commercial is to basically sell you out on the product. Like, hey, you're already here. You want to know more about this product. Okay, the best features of this wallet is because it's minimalistic, it's made in Italy, and everybody loves it because X, Y, and Z, right? The sponsor ad video is for like, hey, this wallet's gonna be super cool. It's gonna make you feel better. Boom, boom, boom. Or attack the problem. Maybe there's like 100 cards in the table, and then this wallet comes up and just one wallet fits all the cart. You're solving the problem. You want to grab their attention. We did a case study. I love showing numbers always. We did a case study with Artahia. They are basically a card game for couples, and they're focused primarily in Valentine's Day, right? So this is how their numbers looked, their campaigns, right? There were, for every buck that they were investing, they were getting a buck back, a buck of 40 back. Means that they were earning 40 cents. Not bad. You're getting, it's positive. It's not, if it was negative, it would be bad. It's positive. Cool. Either way, could be better, right? So this is what we came up with. This is why it's so important to understand the buyer persona and the keywords. So these are all the keywords that we found out that were good for them, right? Couples game for day night, Valentine's Day, sexy game for couples, Valentine games, sexy game cards, couple games for date nights, etc., etc., etc. So the best performing keywords, right? So we put them into based on a search intent, because creating one video for each of this can be very expensive. So we want to save as much money as we can from our clients, but also make it as effective as possible. So we just grouped them into three: sexy games, Valentine's, and couple games, right? This is what we came up with. Let me play this video first, mute this. So this is sexy games. We have one girl here. And a lot of these keywords, actually, my team didn't put it there, but I remember when we did this analysis, were in Spanish. There's a lot of demand for looking for keywords in Spanish, right? And that's why we have brunettes and we have also blondes, because we want to attack both sectors, both markets, right? So look at this one, for example. This one, couples games, we have this one, right? And all the videos are basically the same. What changes is mostly the titles and some scenes, but the first scene is the most important scene, the first scene that they see, right? So on and so forth. If you have any question, guys, please do ask. We're more than happy to answer them. Okay, so this is before again, and then this is the after. So you're getting a lot more clicks. And it's not wizardry, it's not like, oh my God, this is like a cheat code or anything. No, it's literally just giving them what they're asking for. If you give them what they're asking for, the response is gonna be way better, right? Number speaks for itself. Always love number. So let's be disrupted together. Does anybody want me to look at their listing live and give them some ideas? I remember that I had I did a presentation in Tampa. I think Sean's going there, or he already went there.
Yeah, I'm going in a couple of weeks, buddy. It's a little scary.
That's gonna be great, man. They're super lovely over there. And there's this customer, somebody in the group that sells kidney stone. It helps with kidney stones, but you cannot say in Amazon, because it's like medicine. You cannot say that it hurts, that it fixes, that it relieves. You cannot say anything. You cannot disclaim things like that, right? Monday says file in owner's trash. All right, Andy, I'll tell my team to check into that, because that's very, very disturbing. Should be available. I think my team is listening. If you're listening, Andrew, please double check the form, all right? Because it says owner's trash. Take it out of the trash, man. Come on. So he said, oh, there you go. Andrew is in the chat as well. And so he basically had a product that it was to solve or help with kidney stones, and he had no idea how to approach this marketing campaign, because everything that he did, he got flagged and got taken down, right? So we're there, and I was like, what? So if this helps with kidney stones, why don't you just show the bottle, show a big stone, and just throw the stone away? They're going to put one and one together, and they're going to think, oh, this helps with getting rid of stones. And he was like, oh my God, this is so brilliant. And it's not brilliant. It's just like giving them what they want. Anybody want me to dissect their listing? If not, we can keep going. No? All right. Give you free ideas.
This would be very beneficial. So I think you'll be amazed at what Raphael comes up with. So I highly recommend someone throw their listing in here, throw a link to it, let Raphael pick it out. Worst case scenario,
or an idea.
throw your competitors listing in there and let him pick that apart. Get a little competitive analysis going. You like the
I
way
love
I
that.
think, don't
Yes, the competitors. Dude, it's amazing. All right. If nobody wants to go around, all right, Abdel.
There we
Let's
go. We
go,
have a
Abdel.
taker. We have one. The Mystical Cloud Portable
Okay.
Charcoal. There you go.
Look at that, a hookah one. Look at this.
There we go.
All right. This is interesting. 99 bucks.
Work your magic, man.
All right. Let me see this really quick. All right. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So this, I would say it's used. I've never smoked a hookah, but I'm pretty sure you can use this either for maybe family events, or you could use this at parties, right? Shisha. That's what we call it, shisha, if I'm not mistaken. So if somebody's buying this hookah, is to be with friends, right? The first, and I would take a guess that a lot of the buyers are men, Abdel. Maybe 70% of the buyers are men, let's say. He said yes. Okay. So the first thing I would do, I would think of like, they're either doing this and it lights up, so it's like party, nighttime, you feel like, you get in the mood, etc. The first thing I would do if I was doing a commercial, I would definitely go back to like the 70s, 80s, where you see those commercial that's like you see those photos of like a very hot girl with a Ferrari, right? So I would put party with very good looking people in that scene, and depending on who's like what the keywords are, I would put somebody just really quick smoking the hookah, then cut to a scene of like maybe stock imagery of somebody having a lot of fun, and then go back to the hookah. That's what I would do. And for this listing, for the photos, I would definitely put somebody maybe not smoking, but at least interacting with it, holding it, filling it up, give it some ideas why it's more important. For example, this portfolio box looks really high end. It looks really cool. I feel like I could pull up to a party with this, and my friends will be impressed, right? As a red, a red interior. Let me see. Red interior. It has some bases. It has some really nice interior. I would try to clean up all this interior so it looks really fancy, because it's $100. People, when they're spending over 20, 50 bucks, they're like very meticulous. So I would definitely do that, Abdel. All right, let's keep going, guys. I hope you like the idea, Abdel. If not, man, reach out. I'll give you 3 more for free because you're coming from Sean. All right, can you guys see my screen? It's black.
Yes, it's black. Okay, there we have it now. You're good.
Okay. Thank you for the great insight. I appreciate it. We'll stay in contact. Sounds good, my man. Seku, I got a little later in, so contact Andrew. Andrew, contact Seku. We'll give you ideas for free, my man. Promise. Or women, I don't know. Apologies. All right, let's keep going. Part 3. There's the 3 must-have ingredients for any effective content. The most important thing, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, is having the opening scene. This is a cutting board, and the keyword that we used for this was cutting board for barbecues, I think, something like that, if I don't miscall. That's what the first scene, a big chunk of meat. You have to be very careful how you use it, because if it was a keyword that's like, I don't know, cutting board for vegetables, maybe somebody who's vegan is watching this. Somebody's vegan is watching this. They'll be like, oh, this has got to be a complete turnoff. So be very careful, okay? So there you go, boom, boom. First 3 seconds of the videos, extremely important, guys. Has to be something that they stop scrolling. They're having so much information. There's a bunch of people bidding for PPC. You'll see a bunch of sponsored listings, right? Sponsor, sponsor, sponsor. That's people spending their money there. And then you'll see one video, and then you'll see more sponsored, and then maybe you'll see Amazon Reader's Edition, I think it's called, if I don't miscall. And then you'll see another video, right? Editor's Choice as well. So make sure that the first frame, it's not your logo. You can use your logo, but at the end, it's not a white frame, it's a white background. Amazon has a white background. That's why your main image should be a white background, because Amazon wants the aesthetics to look even, to have harmony throughout their whole shopping experience. So make sure that the first frame is a frame that really like makes them stop. You want them to stop and then click. You only want to click. That's the only thing you want to achieve with this video. So the first frame. Then ingredient number 2 is show, don't tell. All right. Like try to evoke emotion. Like give them like say goodbye to a messy entangled jewelry thing. Like, oh, look at this. Oh, this looks so nice. I want to get this. Right. You want to evoke emotions. The more emotions you evoke, the more you trigger their pain points, right? Or attack even their ego in a good way. It's basically manipulation in the best form. And the best way that you manipulate their feelings into like making them feel like they need this from you, that's the way that you should approach it, right? The first thing, first few seconds, attention, and then give them the feeling of they need to buy this, right? And again, show don't tell. Instead of saying it was a beautiful sunset, it's better that sky transformed into a vibrant, meaning that you want to say it. My team put this because they want to show you that it's not just in video. This is something that's coming from way, way, way back, right? On videos, this is the way that we show and don't tell. So first thing, you see the coffee, you see the coffee grains, you see espresso coming out, right? You see the model taking a sip. Want to show the freshness of the coffee, right? Oh, keep going. The roasted smell, espresso coming out. I don't know if you guys love coffee, but we love coffee in South America. All right, mirroring, attraction. Mirror your buyer persona. It's extremely important, guys, to mirror your buyer persona. Why? Because you're going to connect with them. Do you remember the wallet that I talked to you about that everybody who interacted in the chat said was men? Well, after we start creating this is what we start creating. We start creating more content that was men and women, right? Men and women. Why? Because they're giving us a gift. You see the box. This is how the box looks. So this increased their conversions by a lot because we're telling them like, hey, you'll be happy with your partner, right? We did this for Amazon posts. We did it for these listings, for the different variations, for the A+ content, for the brand story. You want to mirror your buyer persona because as much as you can, obviously there's gotta be exceptions in a lot of cases, right? You cannot mirror 100% of the people, but you want to mirror like the bunch. For example, 50% of the buyers were women, and most likely they were married. You want to gift that, all right? Del, have a good one, man. I hope all is well. I hope that your emergency is taken care of. Let me show you what I mean by mirroring. This is a very particular product because it's a it is a.
Hey, Raphael, we have a few minutes left here before we have to jump over to Nate. So just wanted to make sure you're cognizant of the time.
All right. 5, 2, 3, 1.
Give it 3.
3. All right, let's go. Fast.
Hardcore.
The buyer persona for this product, all right, is a little girl. The user is a little girl, but the buyer is the mom. You want to trigger the effect of the mom, right? That she's gonna feel that her daughter's gonna feel good with this. Or a dad. All right, let's keep going. So after mixing all these ingredients, this is how it should look. A good, effective content. You state the problem. This is a hand sanitizer. You state the problem. You act with something aggressive. Then you give the solution, right? And then after that, you tell them the problem and how you solved it. And so on and so forth. This is what makes a really good video. You want to attention, problem, solution. And then you can give them more if they keep watching. It's because it's perfect. And then you could end with basically a call to action, right? Could be this. And let me see what else I can show you that's very, very important, guys, because I got 2 minutes left. I think that's about it. There are some templates that we have for A+ content and brand story that I'm going to give you. And this template at the end, but that's about it. Thank you. If you want the questionnaire, we'll send it over to you. And that's about it, guys. Nate, it's all yours, man.
Wow. This is amazing. So guys, there's the QR code. Do you have a direct link, Raphael, that you can paste in the chat box maybe?
Yeah, I'll do it right now after Nate starts.
Perfect. Well, we super appreciate you, Raphael. This is amazing. Obviously, what you're doing is working. And, we obviously had a great time with you. Well, Sean keeps talking about your pepper session. So
That was good.
it was tons of fun.
That's good. That's good.
All right. So let's see here. We have Mr. Nate Hirsch. Nate, it's been a long time coming, my friend. I know that you've been super busy with the new baby, and
Thank you.
you know, you've done a lot of things in the industry. You've built a lot of businesses. We've kind of crossed paths indirectly, but I'm excited for you to really dive into what you guys are working on now, because from everything that I can tell, it's pretty amazing. So, Nate, I'll let you take it away. And then as questions pop up, we will interject if they make sense.
Awesome. Appreciate you having me. If I seem rusty, I've been on paternity leave for 2 months. So hopefully I'm not too rusty. And
2
you guys
months,
are my
man, you
first
should be rested.
presentation back. Yeah, that's true. I should be rested and ready to go. Let me share my screen real quick. You guys can all see that. Awesome.
Perfect.
Perfect. So today I'm going to talk all about bookkeeping mistakes. Now, bookkeeping is a pretty boring subject to most people. So we're going to approach this from the side of the entrepreneur. What do you need to know as an entrepreneur, as a seller, to avoid a lot of the bookkeeping mistakes that I made with my first Amazon business and that other sellers are making all the time? I am not a bookkeeper. I am not a CPA. I do own 2 bookkeeping businesses, Ecom Balance and Accounts Balance. So again, I'm going to be approaching this from the entrepreneur standpoint of what you guys need to know. I will pause after each slide and just kind of answer any questions, make sure I didn't miss anything and all that. And yeah, this should be good. This is all about the proper monthly bookkeeping setup because it's all about making good decisions every single year, which we will talk about. For those of you that don't know me, I got into the Amazon game pretty early, 2008, 2009, the Wild Wild West days. My business partner and I, we sold 25 million on Amazon from 2008 to 2015 or so. And we grew that business using a lot of virtual assistants and freelancers, which led us to our next business. What, if you know about me, this is probably how it's from FreeUp. We built a marketplace for e-commerce sellers. It started in 2016. We built it to $12 million a year. We exited in 2019, which is kind of a crazy experience right before COVID. But the single best decision that we made with FreeUp was hiring a bookkeeper from day one. With our Amazon business, we were a mess. We were always behind it. And I'll talk about that. With FreeUp, hired a bookkeeper from day one. Every single month, we made good decisions based on what the numbers were telling us. And when we went to sell the business, we had 4 years of immaculate books going back to the first day, which helped us pass due diligence. So that's a little sneak peek into why I think bookkeeping is important and why I started a bookkeeping business, because I really saw the importance of it firsthand. After we sold FreeUp, we launched Outsource School. Some of you guys might be members, outsourceschool.com, where we give you our hiring process, our interview questions, onboarding questions, all of our SOPs for our businesses that you can plug into your business. And we have a cool little community there. I mentioned the 2 bookkeeping businesses, Ecom Balance and Accounts Balance, monthly bookkeeping, charge you on the 1st, books by the 15th each month, accurate on-time books and great customer service around that. And we're actually launching now Trio SEO, a blog writing service, because we pump out a lot of high quality blogs for our businesses. And that will be launching October 17th. So we're building a portfolio of businesses that help entrepreneurs on the boring side, stuff like hiring, bookkeeping, things that aren't necessarily the sexiest things in the world, but that's where we are passionate about. And we kind of know the value of the boring stuff that not everyone's talking about and how important it is to growing a real business. So before I dive into it, any questions there, Seth, anything that you wanted to add before we get going?
All good so far, Nate.
Cool. I'm just going to shut this door real quick. Keep talking. All right. So the single biggest mistake that you can make as an entrepreneur is to do bookkeeping yourself. It's an absolute terrible use of your time. Even if you're in the first year of your business, if you're spending 10 hours every month doing your bookkeeping, the first year is so important. That's 10 hours every month that you could be spending on marketing, growth, expansion, product selection, whatever it is. You want to be focusing your time on what you are the best at and delegate everything else. And most entrepreneurs are not good at bookkeeping. So even if you spend all your time doing the books every single month, I can't tell you how many times we get books from someone who's been doing their bookkeeping for the past year and a half, and we won't even work with them unless we have to redo everything because it's just done incorrectly. Now, even if you think you're a master bookkeeper or you're a CPA in another life, I would still argue it's a terrible use of your time. You're an entrepreneur now, you're a seller now. You should be not doing your own bookkeeping and focusing on the highest possible things. And you'll tend to fall behind too. Even if you're good at scheduling it every single month, you'll get busy months, you'll go through Black Friday, whatever it is, fall behind in your books, and that's going to make it really hard for you to make decisions. So get in the mentality. You guys are entrepreneurs. You guys are not bookkeepers. You should be hiring a bookkeeper, whether it's full-time internal, part-time internal, a service like mine. There's different options out there. You can choose what's best for you, but you should not be doing your books every single month. Any questions there before I keep going? That's kind of the lowest hanging fruit, the easy one.
No questions so far.
Cool. All right, the next mistake that you could make is using a CPA for bookkeeping. So if you think of finances as this big category, I like to split finances into 3 parts. You've got your bookkeeper. They do your books every single month. They should be turning it in on time. They should be putting it in a format that you can read and understand and make decisions on. They're not there to give you tax advice. They're not there to tell you what LLC or what kind of formation you should be, whether you should be an S Corp or a C Corp. They are there to do your books every single month, and you want to keep them in that lane, submitting them on time. Then you've got your CPA or your tax person. If you're outside of the US, it's called something different. They are there to file your taxes and give you tax advice. That is their specialty. That is their sweet spot. They'll help you with formation questions, overall strategies, stuff like that. And they have their own busy seasons. Just like a lot of you guys have busy seasons in certain times of the year, they do too. October coming up, extension time, April every single year. It is very hard for them to stay on top of monthly books. And just like if you were doing it, you might fall behind, they tend to fall behind as well. In addition, they're doing your bookkeeping in a way to get it done for taxes. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong. It just means their job isn't to put it in a way for you to understand every single month. Their job is to make sure it's correct for taxes. So you can have all your expenses in one blob and it's still right from a tax standpoint. Much more beneficial for you to have everything broken down correctly and categorized correctly, so that you can say, hey, I'm spending too much on software. I need to cut payroll, whatever it is. So keep that in mind. CPAs are also more expensive than bookkeeping services. They charge a lot more, and rightfully so. And a CPA will give you stuff that the bookkeeper can take into account and actually change up the books to beat what the CPA is trying to do on the tax side. So you've got the bookkeeper, you've got the CPA, and then you've got your CFO. And that could be full-time, that could be part-time. There's different services and coaches out there. This usually comes into play when you're like 5 million plus. There's very few like $1 million businesses that have a CFO, unless it's some really like once a quarter fragmented service. But that option is there. And the CFO job is to take the numbers from the bookkeeper and help you make business decisions from those numbers. They can help you forecast sales, forecast expenses, say, hey, this is a plan to hire people. This is a plan to launch a new service and to do R&D, our new product. So they're there for the actual business decisions. The CPA is there to help you save money on taxes and file your taxes properly so you don't get in trouble with the IRS. And the bookkeeper is there to give you accurate numbers every single month to make decisions on and to pass that off to your CPA. So it's very important you understand those 3 and that you stay in your lane. There's a lot of people that will go to their CFO and have them do bookkeeping, or go to their bookkeeper and ask them for tax advice or what kind of formation they could be, or ask their CPA to help them with business decisions. You're going to the wrong person, and you need to make sure that you're going to the right resource. Any questions there before I keep going? If anyone,
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say,
quick,
I don't see any in the chat at the moment.
I don't do CPA work, or I don't do tax work, but if anyone wants a CPA referral, feel free to reach out to me afterwards and I can refer my personal CPA. Sorry, what were you going to say? There's no questions?
No, yeah, at the moment, there's no questions.
Cool. The next, so let me kind of, with this one, doing books quarterly or yearly. Some people, they'll try to save money by doing just their books at the end of the year. This is my journey as an Amazon seller. I started when I was 20. I had no idea what I was doing. And at first I tried doing books myself. And like I said, it sucked up my time. I didn't do it right. And then I just had to pay my CPA to fix everything before filing my taxes. So the next year I hire a college kid, ends up being my business partner. Back then, he was just a college kid I hired as my first employee, and I had him do QuickBooks. He had no bookkeeping experience. He was just cheap. And again, I just had to pay my CPA at the end of the year to fix everything. Finally, I said, okay, I need a bookkeeper, and I hired a bookkeeper to do it at the half year mark and then eventually the quarter mark. Now, this was a lot better than me doing my own bookkeeping, but the real problem is by the time I got the numbers and looked at what the numbers were telling me, it was too late to make any decisions. I essentially had to guesswork, which is what a lot of entrepreneurs do. You want to be doing books every single month. There's a lot of benefits to clean bookkeeping, like if you want to sell your business or get funding, get investments, file your taxes on time, all that's great. But most people don't sell their business. Most people don't get funding. The real reason to do bookkeeping and to do them monthly is decision making. You don't want to make decisions based on your gut. You don't want to make decisions based on money going into your bank account. You want to make decisions based on what the actual reports are telling you. We'll talk about these reports in a little bit, but that's the mentality that you should be in. I need monthly books because I'm going to make decisions every single quarter, and everything else like selling your business down the line, that's a bonus. That's just an add-on for having clean books.
One question did come in real quick. If you live in the UK but sell in the US, would you suggest having a US accountant in preference of a UK accountant? That's what they're asking.
Yeah. So
That's
if
Michaela.
I were you, Michaela, if I were you, I would consult with a UK accountant and a US accountant. You probably don't need both, depending on how your business is set up. You'll need one or the other. But in general, you want a local like tax person. Like we have clients from all over the world, even though I'm in the US, but they'll have their own like Canadian tax person that we'll just communicate with. And bookkeeping is bookkeeping for the most part. There's a few like minor things here and there you got to do differently. But yeah, that would be something you should consult with both and see what they say. And hopefully they both say the same thing, because you might have different obligations in different countries depending on the rules.
Thank you.
No problem. And I can introduce you to a US one. I can't help you on the UK side. Sorry. So next is using the right tools. This is where a lot of people go wrong. So there is two tools out there that you should consider using. They both have their pros and cons. People hate them or like them for different reasons. You can't go wrong with either of them. QuickBooks Online, which is a little bit more old school. Xero, which is a little bit more new school. I live in Denver. They actually have an office here in Denver. It's a cool company. So all the other tools you should not consider. There's other ones like GoDaddy Bookkeeping, Wave. They are free for a reason. You will outgrow them relatively quickly, and they won't have the functionality that you'll need while you grow. In addition, you're going to end up in a situation where it's really hard to find bookkeepers that use that tool. Maybe you find one, but when that bookkeeper quits on you, it's going to be really hard for you to find another bookkeeper that's good on Wave, because 95% plus of bookkeepers use QuickBooks Online or Xero. And then two, if you do end up in a situation where you need to get everything off of Wave and onto Xero, you're going to have to figure out how to get all that data from one tool to another, or you're going to have your books in two different places, which is pretty messy. So there are companies out there that will charge you a large fixed price to transfer data. From our experience, every time we've gotten books like that, there's always work that needs to be done to correct it. It's never been perfect. And hiring a bookkeeper to just move all the data over, well, you should have just used it's going to be a lot cheaper to just use the right tools to begin with. So these tools, they're a monthly fee. They're like 30 to 70 bucks a month, depending on what plan you need. But it's a necessary business expense. If I'm starting a business, I know I'm going to have to pay for QuickBooks Online or Xero, just like I know I'm going to have a bookkeeper. It's just a necessary business expense. And down the line, you're going to be happy that you are using these tools. Don't use QuickBooks Desktop unless you're really going to have a bookkeeper in your office at all times. It's 2023. So use QuickBooks Online. Again, if you have everything on desktop, it's going to be an absolute pain to move it to QuickBooks Online. And it's just going to lead to more hassle. So get on QuickBooks Online.
So we had a question from Juan. He's asking about Quicken for books.
So Quicken is just, from my understanding, is just the personal expense or the personal finance version of QuickBooks. So it's not meant for business. It's meant for you to use it to keep track of your own personal finances. Other things off of this. always own your own QuickBooks account or Xero account. Your bookkeeper should not be the owner of the account. Your CPA should not be the owner of the account. There's plenty of horror stories of a bookkeeper that you hired disappeared and they're the owner and you're never getting that data back. You're always the owner. Give people access. Don't work with someone if they insist on being an owner. They can set up the books for you. Like if our clients don't have a QuickBooks account, we set it up. We set up the chart of accounts. We send them the link, and then we transfer ownership right to the client, which they should rightfully have. So make sure that you own your own books. Protect yourself. That's going to be an absolute pain if you lose data, and that comes up every year. Multiple people just have no access to years worth of past books, and it's a terrible position to be in. Next is connecting tools. So if you're an e-commerce seller, A2X and Link My Books are the two that I would recommend. There's other competitors out there. Don't connect directly from Shopify or Amazon to QuickBooks. It's going to be really hard to get accurate information. Don't work with a bookkeeper that's going to download Amazon reports and go by those. You're just setting yourself up for human error, and they probably don't understand e-commerce. Use a connecting tool. And that's the beauty of it, is that's really it. That's all you need from a tool standpoint, is either QuickBooks Online or Xero. And one more thing I forgot, QuickBooks Online or Xero. Go with whichever one your bookkeeper has more experience in. That's kind of the rule of thumb. You can't go wrong with either one. I have businesses on both. For our bookkeeping companies, most of our bookkeepers just happen to have more experience with QuickBooks Online, but we'll use both. But that's my advice. If you haven't got set up yet, and instead of spending hours trying to figure out which one's better for your business, talk to some bookkeepers or bookkeeping services, and whichever one you want to go with whichever one they're most familiar with. So you've got QuickBooks Online or Xero, you got A2X. That's your connecting tool to the different marketplaces, or Link My Books, and that's your basic tool setup. Now, in addition to that, you want to think about bank accounts and credit cards and how you can create the optimal setup for who's ever doing your books. And there's a few ways to do this. First of all, you want to have business bank accounts and business credit cards. Don't use a personal account for business. Hopefully, you know that you shouldn't be intermingling personal and business expenses and stuff like that. That can get you in trouble. But there's nothing illegal about having a personal bank account that you only use for business. The problem with that is you need to be able to give view-only access to your bookkeeper. You don't want to give full access to your bookkeeper. There's no need to do that. They don't need to transfer money, but you want to give view-only access. If you don't give view-only access, then they're going to have to download you're going to have to download statements every single month and send it to them. And it's one more thing that you're going to have to do every single month. It's more manual work for them. It's going to cost you more money with their time. So make sure when you're signing up for a new bank that you talk to them and make sure they allow view-only access for your bookkeepers. That's incredibly important. And yeah, I think I covered it. Any questions on tools, bank accounts, anything like that?
So back to Juan again. He said Quicken has business, rental, and personal. I'm not sure if you have any insight on if the other, like the business specific instead of the personal, is something good to use or not, or if it's better to just stick with the main two.
From my understanding, it's for extremely small businesses. Like if you're a consultant and you just have a very basic business with 10 clients, I do not believe that it is enough for an Amazon business or any kind of like complicated business. We won't work with anyone on Quickens. They have to have QuickBooks Online or Xero, but designed for a very simple setup.
Okay, and the next one is from Lynn. They are using QuickBooks Online, and Entrywise they're asking if that's a good setup.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Entrywise. If it's like A2X and Link My Books, and as long as it's sending you accurate data and doesn't have a lot of bugs, it's probably fine. When we started Ecom Balance, we did a lot of testing of different tools. And from our testing, and this is feedback we got from the bookkeepers, and we're comparing accuracy of data, ease of use, amount of bugs, customer service in case we have an issue. Our top two were A2X and Link My Books. We also didn't test every single tool out there, and I'm sure there's exceptions to kind of those rules.
For sure. It looks like
I'm here.
Oh, it looks like that's the end of the questions that we had there.
Perfect. Let's keep going. So
This is
there's
great.
two types.
Thank you, Nathan. You're doing a great job, killing it, man. And
Thank you,
not to mention, I know you're enjoying the heck out of that new baby, aren't you?
dude. It's incredible. I changed the diaper right before this. I'll probably change another one right after this.
The diaper dad. All right, go ahead. You still have 7 minutes on the clock.
7 minutes. All right. I talk pretty fast, so hopefully we can get through this. There's two types of bookkeeping: cash and accrual basis. This is a decision for your CPA. It's not for your bookkeeper, and it's not for you to decide either. Talk to your CPA. Cash basis means whenever you buy something, charge it to your credit card, goes on your books. Accrual basis means that, let's say you owe or you agree to a contract with a vendor, that's going to actually take place when the order is fulfilled. So if you buy a lot of inventory in January, let's say you buy 50,000 worth of inventory, cash basis going on your books, then accrual basis, it'll be spread out with the sales. And that'll give you a much more accurate picture of how your business is doing. Because in my first example, January would look like a pretty crappy month because you bought a ton of stuff, and other months would look pretty good, but that doesn't really tell you anything. Now, this is not black and white. There's ways that you can do certain things for accrual, certain things cash. You can, if you're doing accrual, you can always toggle back to cash. But if you're doing cash, you can't toggle back to accrual. But bottom line, this is a conversation you should have with your CPA. You should revisit it every single year. You might start off as cash, and then it'll make more sense, and you'll save money on taxes if you do accrual. Talk to your CPA about that. And there's just a big thing going around with brokers saying that you have to be in accrual. Usually true, not always true. Talk to your CPA and make sure your bookkeeper and CPA are on the same page, so that if your CPA says accrual, your bookkeeper isn't doing it in cash. This is a quick way to tell if your bookkeeper understands e-commerce. The top line of your income statement should not be the money deposited in your bank account. You have sales, you have Amazon fees, returns, refunds, all that stuff, and then the money deposited in your bank account. So if the top line of your income statement, which is top line sales, is not your Amazon sales, if it's the money deposited in your bank account, you know that person doesn't really understand e-commerce. And that's just a quick little hack for you. So that's not correct. And you should have the different fees listed out, broken down by marketplace, all that. Another one is not segmenting your books. So if you have different marketplaces, you want to know how you're doing per marketplace. You should be able to break it down. Just like with FreeUp, if we had different services, we needed that broken down. So we could see, hey, should we get more PPC freelancers or whatever it is? So you want to segment your books. If you pay a lot more, you can segment by SKU. We only segment by marketplace, but you want them segmented. You don't just want total sales and all that. So make sure that you're segmenting your books. There's three kinds of reports that you should be looking at every single month: income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. Balance sheet shows the health of your business. And if you have like a lot of loans, a lot of inventory, whatever. And then cash is the actual cash flow in your business. There's a lot of e-commerce businesses that are profitable, but they run out of cash, so they go out of business. So your cash flow is just as important as your profit. And your P&L is a sexy one. The income statement, how much you actually make in profit or loss every single month. You're going to get all three of those reports from your bookkeepers. Most entrepreneurs only look at your P&L. Go through all three, ask for help understanding them, watch videos on YouTube to learn how to read all three statements. This is a good life skill to have. It's going to help you with your own business, with the stock market, anything that you do, you have to be able to understand income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. The other thing I forgot to say earlier is don't take a course on how to use QuickBooks. That's a terrible use of your time. You do not need to know how to reconcile an account in QuickBooks. It kind of blew my mind when we started this, how many bookkeepers would sell that. You should watch some videos and learn how to read an income statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow. That's what you should know as an entrepreneur. If you can do that, then you're going to be able to identify what's wrong. You can go line by line. I'll talk about that in a second. Learn how to read those reports. All three of them, not just the income statement. There's tools out there that are great to see your sales and get an update on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. They don't replace monthly bookkeeping. Just because you have a tool that shows you your sales and your inventory costs and stuff like that doesn't mean you don't need to use QuickBooks Online Zero and to have everything there. Your CPA is not going to accept those tools. They need actual bookkeeping to file taxes. This seems like a no-brainer, but we experienced this when we started Econ Balance, where people just wouldn't put us in contact with their CPA for whatever reason. So now when a client signs up, we get their CPA's contact information. Your bookkeeper and your CPA should be on the same page at all times. If you have a CFO, they should be looped in there as well. It's as easy as adding them to the email chain when you get your monthly books. In our case, we have a client portal, log in and you add your CPA. We want to be on the same page with your CPA. We don't want to speak bookkeeper to you. We want to speak bookkeeper to them, and we want to be on the same page with them. So make sure you connect them. If your bookkeeper and CPA are not connected right now, connect them in email chain, introduce themselves, they can schedule a quick call together. It's only going to help your business. They're your finance team. They should be communicating. And my last one, and this is the biggest one. If you take anything out of this, hopefully it's this one. You should have a meeting on your calendar every single month. It should be between the 15th and the 20th. You get your books between the 10th and the 15th, and you do not miss this meeting for any reason. Your business partner attends this meeting, higher ups in your company can attend this meeting, and this is the meeting that you make decisions for your business. Again, you don't make it off a gut, you don't make it off of guessing, you don't make it looking at your bank account, you make it at the monthly finance meeting. That doesn't mean you can't brainstorm stuff and come up with ideas throughout the other days, but the decisions get made at the monthly finance meeting. Connor and I started this at the beginning of Free Up. We've been running this monthly finance meeting every month for the past 6+ years. We credit this to helping us scale and make good decisions. We sit down, we go through each report, we compare it to last month, we compare it to the same month last year, and we look at the trends and we make decisions based on those trends and based on those numbers. And if you're doing this meeting every single month, understanding the 3 reports is going to become a lot less daunting. You're going to get to know your business and understand your numbers. When we went to sell our company, we had an initial phone call with the buyers, and they asked us questions about our finances. And we answered those questions very easily because we had this monthly finance meeting every single month. Now, there are so many situations that I talk to entrepreneurs who buy businesses where the buyer has that phone call and then they go in and look at the books and it does not match anything like that phone call. We built a lot of trust with the buyers because we knew our books. And then when it got into the books after that call, it matched everything that we told them on the phone. So that's how it should be. You should understand your numbers because you're having this finance meeting. We put together the exact agenda of our meeting. If you go to ecombalance.com/agenda, you can grab it. You can plug it into your own business. I highly recommend it. Again, if you take anything out of this, have that finance meeting on your calendar. You're going to see a big difference over time in the quality of decisions you're making for your company. So yeah, that's it. If anyone wants to follow me, check me out on LinkedIn. I post a lot of content there about hiring and bookkeeping. If you're interested in Ecom Balance, you get 2 months free. Just mention this webinar there. And yeah, appreciate it. Hopefully,
and a lot of content about that beautiful baby.
Yeah,
Nate,
you'll see a lot of baby pics.
We really appreciate you, man. This has been great.
Hey,
Awesome.
I did
Thank
throw
you.
that agenda link in the chat in case anybody wanted that.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy fatherhood. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
I'm hopping
Nate.
off. See ya.
See ya.
All right. So have I got a treat for you? We're about a minute behind. So let me get started with Mr. Ian here. And I guess, oh yeah, there he is. He's already up.
Here.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how I like to start these, right? Children of all ages, gather around your screens and prepare to meet someone who can turn affiliate marketing into an uproarious adventure. Our special guest today is none other than Mr. Ian Brody, the mastermind behind Levanta.io, a dazzling, innovative affiliate marketing software purposely built for Amazon sellers, right?
Yep.
Now, Ian isn't your typical tech whiz. He's more like the James Bond of affiliate marketing, if you will, except instead of gadgets, he's armed with lines of code and a sharp wit. Ian's on a mission to make affiliate marketing so entertaining that even the Amazon rainforest would applaud. So, folks, fasten your virtual seatbelts because today we're in for a wild ride with Ian Brody during our Post-Purchase Pro monthly masterclass. Get ready to laugh, learn, and maybe even discover the secret agent techniques of affiliate marketing. Without further ado, let's give a roaring, socially distanced welcome to the one and only Ian Brody. Thank you, Ian.
Oh, thank you so
Ian,
much.
welcome.
What an amazing intro. That's fantastic. Thank
Raphael
you.
missed his.
All right.
All right, Ian, take it away, my friend. If any questions pop up, we'll interject, okay?
Sounds great. All right. Let me know how that looks. Does that look okay?
Looks good.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, I'm Ian Brody. I don't even need to
Hey,
introduce
hey
myself.
Ian, you're on the
Hey,
wrong monitor,
Yeah.
buddy. You're doing the presenter mode.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna hop into the slide when he went to click.
No worries.
That's all right.
Now I
We see it all over here.
There you go.
There we
Don't
go.
show the honeymoon pictures. Keep those on your others. Okay, there you go.
oh this is presenting the right one now, yeah?
Yep, you're on the right screen now.
Perfect. All right. I'm Ian Brody. I am the CEO and co-founder of Levanta. I'm here to talk about Amazon affiliate marketing. and I'm going to give you some tips on how to drive external traffic with creators. And so let's just dive right into this. The first thing I want to start on is just give you a little background on myself. A few years ago, I started a company called Grovia, and Grovia is an affiliate recruitment software and services company. And I grew that company to 26 employees, and then actually sold it to a company called Acceleration Partners. And this is Acceleration Partners is like the largest affiliate agency in the space. And they've kind of taken that and run with it. And I went off to actually start Levanta. So my expertise is in helping brands partner with affiliates and creators of all different sorts. And now I'm kind of taking that experience, where before I was broadly helping primarily D2C and SaaS companies recruit affiliates. Now kind of taking all that expertise and bringing it to Amazon. So this is totally focused on Amazon and helping Amazon sellers for the first time partner directly with creators to drive external traffic. So let's talk a little bit about why this even matters in the first place. There's some kind of broad challenges Amazon sellers face. I won't spend too much time on this stuff because you folks know it. But there's obviously a lot of competition from all angles, and gaining that advantage, gaining that competitive advantage matters. And so there's a way to gain that competitive advantage. It's something that's worth paying attention to. Then there's expensive CPC advertising. And I'm sure a lot of you folks also have noticed this, but CPC advertising has gotten wildly expensive. And it's getting more expensive. There's limited real estate, and more sellers are coming in and driving up that cost. And you're paying for clicks. That's the other problem, is you're not necessarily paying for sales and revenue, you're paying for clicks, which isn't always actually tied to your bottom line. And so it can get very expensive, and if you're not optimized, you can actually be dropping a lot of cash on stuff that's not actually helping you. And then there's bestseller ranking and organic search rankings on Amazon in general. And there's limited levers available for sellers to actually go and improve that. And there's really a few things that kind of help that score go up. And fortunately, what we're about to talk about really helps there. So let's dive into the next slide. These three things kind of correlate to the challenges we just talked about. The obvious one is if you go and nurture affiliate marketing into a scalable revenue stream, you are going to have more traffic and more sales by partnering with revenue generating affiliates, creators, publishers to go and promote your brand to their audiences. Second, you're paying for sales, not clicks. It's really cool. You only pay when the traffic converts. So unlike CPC ads, where you're paying for clicks that might be sending unqualified traffic, that's not actually going to drive you any money at all. You're actually spending money. Your marketing spend is innately tied to the revenue it drives. That's kind of the basis of affiliate marketing in general. You're paying for sales. You only pay someone when the traffic actually converts. Finally, and this is a big one, Amazon rewards this. Amazon rewards external traffic and conversions with increased rankings. You're going to have an increased bestseller ranking by having products that are attracting lots of external traffic. And then on top of that, which I'm sure many of you have heard of this before as well, you get the brand referral bonus from Amazon. There's a 10% kickback on sales driven through external traffic and tracked with Amazon attribution. So this is a big one, and I'll actually talk about it. This is a screenshot from Amazon's website. You are earning a bonus averaging 10% of sales from non-Amazon marketing traffic that you drive to Amazon. So your marketing dollars are going for there. You're getting a kickback, and it's 10% typically of the sale of the promoted product, and any of the brand's products purchased by the customer. So you also get what's called a Halo brand referral bonus. So you're getting even if they don't actually buy the product you're promoting, or they buy a different product within your portfolio, they have 2 weeks from the click of the link to go and actually buy for you to get that bonus. And then it's provided as a credit on your seller referral fees. So with kind of that background on the challenges, the benefits, this really big benefit from Amazon and this incentive that Amazon provides, I wanted to give a case study on a very popular kitchen cookware brand that added 100K in Amazon sales in 2 days during Prime Day with affiliate marketing. So the big thing that they did is they got started well in advance of Prime Day. They actually came to us specifically in preparation from Prime Day because of the success in Prime Day. They've been with us ever since and are really excited for this upcoming Big Deals Day coming up on October 11th. Maybe it's 10th. It's coming up here in a few weeks. But they actually launched their Amazon affiliate program 2 months in advance of the event. They set competitive commission rates, and I'll talk a little bit more about what a competitive commission rate looks like. They recruited 36 affiliates or creators into their affiliate program. These are direct relationships that they went out and built both on our platform and also in their own communities. And they, on their first day, drove 17,000 clicks and $59,000 in sales just through this channel alone. And then on day 2, a little bit decreased, but still very impressive. Another 12K of clicks and 41K of sales driven across these 36 creators. And then on top of all that, they actually, earned money back on top of that. They got that 10K bonus, the brand referral bonus. So this is an awesome case study. We had a ton of brands on Prime Day who had very, very similar experience. This just a ton of revenue, and they were able to essentially kind of flick this on in advance of the event, drive a bunch of viral content that was promoted across blogs, across TikTok, across Instagram, even publications, like BuzzFeed and Wirecutter, and just had a really amazing couple days with their creator program. And then that success, because those creators had so much success with their brand on that day, they kind of stuck with the brand and continued to promote it. So it's actually a really amazing time to launch an affiliate marketing program right before some of these sales days. So obviously there's the Prime Day that's coming up here soon, but then you have Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and then obviously the holidays. And so kind of timing it around these events is very good because you can attract a lot of affiliates during that time with your deals, drum up a bunch of hype and excitement. Those creators see success because there's already increased traffic during those times. And then even after the event, they'll stick around and continue promoting your brand and your products for months to come. So it's a really cool thing to do. And we'll talk a little bit about affiliate recruitment now. So this is the big one. A lot of what goes into making this happen, you need the back end. We'll talk about the ingredients of an affiliate program and why that matters. But one of the most significant ingredients to all this is affiliate recruitment and being able to attract affiliates. And so there's really 2 different broad strategies for recruiting affiliates. There's inbound strategies and there's outbound strategies. Outbound strategies are recruitment efforts that involve proactively finding and reaching out to new affiliates. And there's inbound strategies where you have recruitment efforts that involve attracting folks that already access your website, buy your products, or visit your affiliate program on like an affiliate platform. So inbound strategies include affiliate marketplaces. So affiliate marketplaces are like your influencer networks or something like Levanta, where you have a marketplace of affiliates that you can go explore and discover different creators in different categories, different promotional methods. You want influencers, bloggers, traditional affiliates, and so on. You can kind of use an affiliate marketplace to find those folks, and a lot of them will actually come inbound to you. So if you list your brand on an affiliate marketplace, there's a few of them out there, you can actually attract these creators to you, and they'll just apply to your program on the marketplace as well. Typically, they're 2-way. So you can invite affiliates to promote your brand, or they can find you on the affiliate marketplace and apply to promote your brand. Other ways to kind of attract inbound interest is through customers and evangelists already in your network. So sharing, your affiliate program with your existing customers, sharing your affiliate program with evangelists that you've already kind of built up. Then a lot of folks also have a website landing page. So if you have a website and you have traffic that is continuously driven to it, a lot of folks, if you scroll to the bottom of their website, say, hey, join our affiliate program. So affiliates looking for brands to promote will often go and look to the website, scroll down, look for that affiliate program invite link, and join that way.
So we had one question, if you got a sec.
Yeah.
It's from Freddie, and he said, what are the commissions for affiliates? So I'm assuming, like, how do you determine what to pay affiliates and so on?
Totally. It's a great question. And actually, I'm going to touch on it on the next slide. So I'll just hold up on that. And
ahead of time.
Yeah, no worries. And I'm going to skip this affiliate network merge because it's not super relevant here. Outbound strategies are like influencer discovery. So using influencer discovery tools, going out to TikTok, going out to Instagram, DMing folks. A lot of people hire someone to do this. There's plenty of people on Upwork and Fiverr who will go and do this type of affiliate recruitment, influencer recruitment. There's even agencies. You can see the tip at the bottom. The company I started, that's a big part of what we did. We had a software that helped you do this. You also have a recruitment agency that actually will go out and do this recruitment for you. And that'll be influencer discovery, content discovery. There's other things you can do too, like competitive analysis. So looking at backlinks, so using some like Ahrefs to go and look at who's driving traffic to your competitors. And you can get all that information on exactly which websites are driving that traffic, and you can go reach out to them and give them a better offer. And then there's just flat out outreach. If you're getting, if you have emails, if you can find emails, reaching out to folks just via email cold and saying, hey, come help us out. There's a great opportunity for you to earn a 20% commission or whatever. So let's talk about ingredients for an Amazon affiliate program. And we're going to touch on that commission question here very shortly. Before I dive into that, I want to just before we even get into it, before you get super excited about this, take a moment to reflect on whether or not you sell products that creators would want to promote. There's a very, very wide range of categories. We have hundreds of thousands of products that do well in all types of categories, but there are some that just don't make sense. And usually it's pretty common sense. We had someone come to us wanting to get creators to promote their paper clips. There is nothing special about those paper clips. They are just paper clips. And it's just not going to work. And they signed up, they swiped their credit card. We told them, hey, don't do that. And they didn't have a good time. So be thoughtful. There's a wide range of products that creators love to promote, but have some common sense about it and don't throw paper clips up. The next ingredient is what we just talked about, discovering, recruiting creators. That's super important. It's an affiliate program. It's a relationship-based marketing platform. It's not a plug and play. You're not just giving your ad spend to big tech. You're not just dumping money into Facebook or Instagram or Amazon or whatever. You are actually building relationships directly with creators and having those relationships directly. So it's a very important facet of this whole equation. Another thing you really need to pay attention to and make sure you have is a creator payment process. If you are setting up an affiliate program and you're promising creators that you'll pay them when they drive sales, you better make sure you have a way to actually do that efficiently. And if you think about it, if you have some of our folks on our platform have 250 affiliates, and if you don't have a way to pay those folks, if you're trying to do this kind of Amazon affiliate program thing yourself, it can be very tough. The good news is that there are ways to automate it. Most of the platforms automate it, but not all of them do. And if you're trying to build this like in a homegrown solution type of way, that's a very important thing to do. Now let's talk about commissions. So let's remember too that you're getting this 10% bonus back from Amazon. So what we see a lot of folks do is, they're getting that 10% back. And so it actually allows them to provide a more attractive commission. So we typically recommend 20%, but every brand is different. But if you go and explore the affiliate marketplace, at least on our platform, you'll see it 20% is typically the average, but we have people have success with 15 and less if they have a very, great selling product, lots of volume or a high price point. And And there's lots of different variables to take into account when you're setting your commission rate. You know, there's lifetime value, there's increases to your bestseller ranking, there's brand awareness. We have a great ebook on this too on our website. So if you are getting stuck on this, it's called Mastering Amazon Affiliate Marketing. It's in the resources tab of our website. You can go check that out. And it talks through how to kind of calculate what's a good commission to offer to your creators. So moving on, the last two actually go hand in hand. So to run an affiliate program, you need to be able to create affiliate links that provide attribution for clicks, conversions, sales. We are all very fortunate in that Amazon launched Amazon attribution in 2019. So this enabled sellers to take off Amazon marketing into their own hands and start to report on externally driven sales. So for those who haven't played around with Amazon attribution yet, you can spin up attribution links that you can then use in your external marketing, such as search and social ads. So if you are running Facebook ads or Google search ads, like you can kind of plug that in. Right out of the box, Amazon attribution doesn't have much functionality built around affiliate marketing. So it's pretty tough to go and just like grab those links, like spin up an affiliate program. It's possible. We've seen some like Amazon aggregators try and do that. And pour lots of money into that. And it's totally possible, but you need people to administrate it. You need the payment process. You need to keep track of all the links, all the affiliates and all that stuff. Because you need to be able to report out on this stuff. You need to be able to share reports on the conversion, sales driven, and be transparent with the creators that you work with. So I think that's where these affiliate platforms come into play. And you can automate a lot of this stuff. You know, you can't automate having appropriate products, but you can automate discovering and recruiting creators, listing yourself on the marketplace, getting that inbound traffic. You can automate the creator payment process. We'll talk about how Levanta does that specifically a little bit down the line, but a lot of the platforms have it. And then obviously we're actually going in and kind of doing all the automation with attribution. So we plug in via API to your Amazon attribution account, and we're doing all the affiliate link generation, the reporting, pulling all this stuff in. So it makes it super easy, streamlined to actually just run the program. So all you really have to worry about is once a month paying the commission invoice and then having products that creators want to promote, setting good commissions. So that kind of brings me to the plug, which is Levanta. So Levanta is the all-in-one affiliate marketing software. I'll give you a super quick walkthrough on how it works. When you sign up, all you have to do is just sign in with your Amazon account. We pull in your Amazon listings in one click. So all your products come in, your brands come in, all organized like that. We're only using the data to sign in with Amazon specifically for you to do your Amazon account. We're not using that data for anything else. It's all in our privacy policy. Some people are worried about that. We're not doing anything shady with that. We are just using it to pull in your products and attach into that Amazon attribution API so we can track those conversions for your affiliates. Once you've kind of pulled in all of your products, you can then go set commissions for each of them. So you can set commissions on a per product basis. You can set a blanket commission across all of your products. We also have multi-brand view. So if you have multiple brands, you can switch between the brands and actually talk to creators from each brand's perspective. So you don't have to talk from the seller level. You can talk from the brand level if you want to split it up like that. So once you're live and you kind of have your profile set up, your brand's all up there, products are on there, then you're actually can go and be put live onto the affiliate marketplace. So revenue generating creators can now find your products on the public market, not public, but on our marketplace. And then you're also given your own branded sign up link, if you're on our gold plan, that is, for you to then go list your affiliate program sign up link on your website and do your own recruitment even outside the platform to supplement the recruitment and creators on the platform already. Then when creators drive sales, you earn that 10% back from Amazon automatically every sale in Levanta. If you qualify for the brand referral bonus on the Amazon Seller Central side, if you're driving traffic with Levanta, you're qualifying for it on Levanta. So you're getting that 10% back. And we have a brand referral bonus report in the app as well. So you can kind of track what you're earning what you're paying to creators, the sales you're driving, by product, by creator, by brand, all that jazz. And then we make it super easy with payments. So you make one monthly payment at the end of the month for all your creators. It's one invoice for your commission payments. And then Levanta goes and actually distributes that to all of your creators. So if you have 250 creators, you're not having to make 250 payments. You make one payment. And that's it. That's the whole process. So we're doing a special offer for this masterclass. We're offering 33% off our standard plan for 6 months. You can use the code Masterclass when you're checking out on the website to get that. So it's about $50 off a month of our $150 a month plan. We also have, and this isn't listed here, we also have our gold plan, and agreed before this call that we'll actually bring down our gold plan to $450 a month. It's usually $750, but we'll bring it down to $450 a month for anyone who comes from this. To get that gold plan, you just have to either email me. I'm Ian at levanta.io. It's my email address. You can email me directly. You also contact us on the website, and that will, and just let them know that you came from the masterclass and you heard about the $450 a month deal for the gold plan. It's available there. So that's it. Thank you.
Ian, this is amazing. We really appreciate you. Obviously, we're huge proponents of external traffic. You were talking about the benefits of it in the beginning. We talk about that all the time. We use email and text marketing to pull that off just the same as you do. So that's amazing. If you don't mind, go ahead and put your links directly in the chat so people can just click. And then we're going to move on to a few important things as we close this out. But we really appreciate you, Ian. Thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, guys. So we're going to transition to the last segment here, which is replays. Several of you have asked about replays of this masterclass and prior masterclasses. Really, really simple. If you just go to postpurchasepro.com/MC for masterclass, where you scan that QR code, then you can have access to all of them. They're all there from, the beginning of time. So check that out. Dylan, if you don't mind, pop that URL into the chat box so everyone can have a clickable link. And then we will move on to Sean's closing statement. Sean.
My closing statement. That's all, folks.
So everyone, if you missed any of the prior months, we have experts ranging from, like you saw today, accounting to keyword ranking to product selection to data, all kinds of different interesting topics. So check out all the replays if you missed it. If you want to be a part of our unveiling, we think it's going to be bigger than AI for Amazon sellers. Sean and I have been cooking up something for the last several months that we're going to be unveiling in October. If you want to get in on that, it's postpurchasepro.com/revealed. But other than that, we don't have anything else to share, guys. Thanhanks for
I'll tell you
hanging
what,
out
Seth,
with us.
I just posted in the chat box there where I actually recently read through our entire book, Private Label Millionaire Secrets. So if you use that link that you see in the chat box, pppro.co/Sean Reads. Hey, I threw it up in a hurry. It'll actually take you to the it'll redirect you to the YouTube playlist, and you can listen to all 9 chapters in my redneck voice. So
that's with additional commentary, right, Sean? That's the special edition.
That is the special edition where I get to go off script and rant a little bit here and there. So
there you go.
Check it out. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. It's Post Purchase Pro on YouTube. And with that, Seth, I guess we'll wrap this thing up, and we'll see y'all next month. Maybe Dylan may be taking over next month.
We shall see. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out on the Post Purchase Pro Masterclass. See you all next time.
See you. And thank you to all the speakers.
All right. Yes. Thanks.
Especially you, Dylan.
Thanks.